All right, how's it going, everyone? Hope some of you are out there, not just talking into the void. Clearing a throat here. I'm going to go over my 2023, my complete list of my targeted list that I came up with in January of 2023. I'm going to sort of recap how that all went, how many records I actually ended up buying, and how badly I screwed that up. Anyway, but no, how many I ended up buying, how many of the targeted 23 lists that I got. I'm going to show everything. Endora's Revenge, hello. What's up, Mike? How are you today? I gotta find some time Friday night to hang out sometime with the stream. Friday night is always tough. Hey, Paul, Josh. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, some of these are definitely out there and about. So my spiel is I'll invite some people up to join, but I was gonna go through sort of my recap my year real quick and sort of like tell you about that whole thing and cop to you about how badly I missed out on my target. Now, I'm sure everyone assumes they're gonna start the year with good intentions and buy mindfully and really focus on the records that mean the most to them, which I feel like I did. But I have to say, I was Jamie. What's up, man? I have to say, Pat. Yes, I have to say, I thought I was around about the 300 mark for how many records I bought this year. I was talking with John at Digital Gramophone, and he was telling me about what he sort of kept track as well. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm close to that, maybe around 300. And then when I tallied it all up yesterday, like the Discogs editions, because I do catalog everything in Discogs, that did not. No, the numbers don't lie. I'm playing one of. I'll tell you about it in a second. I'm playing one of my favorite records that I found this year. I did show this at some point. Hey, Kieran. This is the Folkways pressing of Gianni Safred and his electronic instruments. It's actually originally an Italian pressing with a different cover, but how cool is this cover, though? Folkways. Futurabile. And, oh yeah, here we go. You guys know the true meaning of lies. Anyway, I thought I'd break the ice with that. I'm going to show like I said, those targeted records I ended up getting, and also my 10. I'm going to cop into. I wasn't really going to do it, sort of my favorite finds of the year, but I'll do it. I have a lot. I found a lot of good records I'm really happy about. I thought I'd break the ice though with 2 records I got today from a seller in UK. I'm showing these just as a one-off because just the fun. I know everyone likes a real Discogs shit show. Just a complete miss on grading. I haven't had one of these in quite a while, actually, so I know everyone enjoys these. Stunty. I got 2 records from the UK. This one checks out. I've been meaning to track down this record a lot. This is a DJ record, Best Dressed Chicken in Town. This is a Green Sleeves UK pressing. This is a great toasting, like I said, DJ record. If you don't know, like you had the U-Roys, the I-Roys, not Prince Buster, forgetting the other guy, but of course Dr. Alimentado, and who's the other one? Dillinger's the other one I was thinking of, where they basically take rhythms and they just sort of like rap, essentially. It's an early form of rap. And this is this is one of those ones that you need to check out if you don't know. So this one was great. That checked out as a near mint record. Now this one, don't get me started on the LIE Disco Devil. Well, with that title, Disco Devil. I've had a reissue of this, and I've been really wanting to get a nice Jamaican original. Here we have Ital Dub, Augustus Pablo, 1974. Now, my friends, I know you love a good Discog shit show. This is a VG Plus record, apparently. Now, I know it's Jamaican. Okay, it's Jamaican, obviously, but I mean, are you serious? I mean, I got it right to this person. I just got this today and be like, do you have another copy of this? This is the copy they meant to send me. As you can see, that's happening. Again, it's Jamaican pressing, but you don't grade a Jamaican pressing even this way. And the record, it is the original label, Star Apple, but it's hammered. It is hammered. Now, I haven't played it yet, but the record is supposed to be a VG Plus. And, yeah, you can't really see it, but it's hammered. Fantastic Pablo King Tubby LP, Ital Dub. Okay. But I just figured to break the ice with that. We're going to carry on. We're going to get right into it. Yeah, I know. I haven't played it yet, to be fair, but that cover rocked. So I linked below to like my original video from January where I sort of set up this ridiculous idea. I said I would buy 6 records a month times 12, 72 records. And then I targeted 23 records that I wanted to get for the year. And yeah, right. I know every time I do this, I try to, when I open a record from the UK or anywhere abroad, I try to have my son film me opening it to cover my ass. Right? I know Stunty's calling me out. He knows what I did. No. But now I'm wondering if they're going to be like, oh, no, that's your copy. I sent you the good copy and you kept it anyway. We'll see how that goes. But so I targeted 23 records. I'm here to tell you I got 14 of the 23. Better than 50%. Right. Lies. Good label. I don't have any Lies records, but I remember that label from 2009, 2010. And so I got 14 out of the 23. And I linked to my halfway check-in where I showed the first half. I'll show those again real quick. But the first half of these I showed in June. So these are all ones I planned to get and did. I'll just show these quickly because I've shown these before. Blue Notes from Mungese on Ogun. Startling record, basically a funeral record for not Tiani, but I'm going to feel like an imbecile if I don't quite remember. For what's his name again? Someone will tell me. Well, it's Mungese. I just wanted to get his first name. Mungese Feza. So it was the funeral, basically the music they came and improvised together in the studio, the Blue Notes, when he died. I know it is pretty good stats, actually. I showed this Alan Brofman, the original on Indian Navigation. This is another record that is worth multiple spins. I've probably played it 2 or 3 times. With these, I've really tried to give a lot of attention to. I completed my Phil Yost collection. I got this from a local seller here in Ithaca. There's a lot of folk music in Ithaca and some out folk music too. And he had this one, and it's a beauty on the Tacoma label, of course, which I do collect. The original black label. There's only one pressing of these Phil Yost records, if you don't know. And if you don't know Phil Yost, you should. He walks that line of avant-garde, jazz, and folk music, really. It kind of walks that line. Switching gears, I got the original pressing of the self-titled Acetone record, which was subsequently reissued this year. I did not know that was going to happen. Sun Ra's Unity. I'm still missing New Voices, the red one on Horo. And the Ici La Ba, this is Bruno Wizard, post-punk, sort of like a more out there Marquis Smith. He was in the Homosexuals, and then a bunch of different records for this Black Noise label. And this is complete with the original insert and everything. It's a very DIY release. And the Look Blue Go Purple Flying Nun. This one I had to flatten. I'm sorry, my friend helped me flatten this on Flying Nun originally. So that's what I've already shown. Now I'm going to show you what I've gotten since then that I have not shown yet. Yeah, I'm happy with them. I didn't get my number one want, which I've been trying to look for over 10 years, but that's okay. Yeah, I've not seen. I don't see these. Well, that's not true. I have seen Ogun Records locally. I've never seen the Blue Notes or the Maholo that I showed last time. Yeah, you don't see them. I mean, Carolina Soul had Foghat Ramble, which I ended up winning, but I had never seen them in shops. Hey, Mikey. So nice Costanza there. So these I have not shown yet, and these are on my list. And that, if you want to see the list, I put it as a Discogs list in the comments. I did get this. I had the reissue of Roberto Muschi and Giovanni Venosta, original on recommended, right? Yeah. Continuing in the tradition of my exploration into sort of the deeper composers and one sort of merging ethnographic and electronic music. This one was right on point for me, and where did I put it? I do have another one. I just got the Low of Music original that someone in Italy must have just been looking to get rid of that record, so I just got that too. It's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So I just got this. I have the reissue of this. That's a 3LP. This is the raw material. I got this in Italy for a price I just couldn't refuse. I lowballed the offer is what it was. So that wasn't on the list, but the one here was. So all's well that ends well. Also, Swedish record, Harvester Himat. The one I wanted the most out of these early Swedish records. Yeah, Stunty, I don't care though. I like to think that it's going to help me in the end. I like to think of people as the world is good by default. No, I don't know. I hope that it would sort of help people want to locate those records for me. You may be right, and maybe that's not going to help me, but I'm gonna stick with showing my list. What's up, French Phonolactic? And Himat, original on, this is not on Love Records, this is Decibel. This was in the US. Somebody had it in the US. And, I do have the Harvester box set. So, yeah, I don't know that these are going to sound better, but you know how it is. One of the big psych records I was looking for, and I got this very cheap from a seller on eBay who, one of those eBay sellers that doesn't sell records, was just looking to make an offer, or was looking for a good offer. They threw in extra ephemera and like an extra 45 and a really sweet note, but it's This Morning Dew. I don't know how many of you people know this. This is one of those that came out in 70, but was recorded a little earlier. Kieran gets it. Brenda Ray Wallata is the one. But anyway, this I did think I'd really get for the price I really wanted. So it's on one of the Mafia Special Records label, or one of the Mafia Special labels, Roulette. Morning Dew. This is right in that psych wheelhouse that I'm still trying to get in, or still trying to sort of get. Otherwise, a lot of the obvious psych I'm not really into or like trying to buy right now. I know, of course it is. Stunty's good all around. Is that right? Okay, then. Taking a break here. Oh, I sold all my Arcade Fire records a long time ago. Sorry. I had them. I had a couple. I think I still have CDs of them. I definitely lost interest with sort of where they went. So don't have any Arcade Fire. I do have a fair amount of indie rock if anyone cares. I know Mazzy, and thank you for showing Material Objects as one of your favorite covers, but I wasn't really necessarily going to do it. I have mixed feelings about doing these recaps. It's sort of good for me. I don't know if everyone likes them. I guess you do. It's a nice way to wrap up the year, I think. Although, I don't know. Sometimes it feels a little too neat, like you're sort of forcing a peg into a square hole. That whole thing. Okay, moving on. This one's been all over the place this year, and I swear to God, I had no idea there was going to be like an ERC, a light in the, or Vinyl Me Please of this. But I've been trying to get a clean copy. If you go back to a video I did where I did like a Discogs experiment early in my video channel, I had an original of this. I took a chance on it. It ended up being too beat, and I returned it. But I did track down a clean copy of this, and a tougher one to do. And it's not exactly, well, it's not the very first pressing, but it is the early pressing. Okay. I figured I would get this one this year. I just didn't know like what it would cost or what kind of condition. But I got this at the Ithaca Record Fair, and the dealer, a guy I'm friends with, he thought it was a first, and in fact, he didn't even have it on his wall. He had it stashed. And I just said, "Hey, you still got that Gil Scott?" And he said, "I do. No one really cares, or no one wants it." And he had like $175 on it. And I'm like, "Is it really a first?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I look at it, and it wasn't. It's got the original Flying Dutchman. It's the white label one, which is the second label. But I tell you, this puppy has not been played. It's a beauty. So I was going to say, nah, wait. And then I said, hey, it's the second label. And he basically gave it to me for half. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to find this nicest shape of a copy with that first label, which if the first label, if you didn't know, is the pink and the blue. This is very important stuff, as you all know, getting the right label. Anyway. Yeah, I guess so. But you know what? I'm all for it, man. You want to do a recap, you do a recap. Moving on. Here's one that I will give credit to Stunty because he made me aware of this artist. And I'm still looking for his other one. Oh, no, I'm looking for all of his records because I fell in love with his records. But I have two now. And it is a lovely copy of Clouds. New Music for Relaxation by Craig Kupka. This one I just had to wait on. The other one, Crystals, does not seem to want to turn up. There's a stupid copy that's been up there all year. Someone was reasonable. That's all I can say. All of these things I didn't overpay for. I just want to say, I was trying to adhere to being patient. This is the Folkways release. Now, if you don't know Kupka, he's making that new age music that was sort of in vogue at the time from 1981. But doing so with a much more creative depth, I'd say, much more, definitely not sort of for your relaxation, your meditation sessions. This is definitely more coming from a avant-garde perspective. And this is reissued. There is a modern reissue of this, so check it out. There is a modern reissue of Crystals, the other Folkways record. I'm just, I'm waiting it out. But this does not have a Folkways insert because the information's all here. But it's super, super lovely. So really happy. That one worked out quite well. Yes, I know there's been a lot of reissues of that thing. Lovell, what's up, man? Oh, yeah, the first copy I got of Clouds. Right, that was one I got from eBay from a seller who graded it it was a VG plus, VG plus. It was in the shrink, and I ended up getting it, and it had water damage, and the paper had lifted off the sleeve, and the record was below VG plus, and the guy hemmed and hawed, and tried to argue with me about it. Eventually, he had to take it back. It's eBay; they have to take it back, and then he relisted it with my grading. He relisted it on eBay once he sent it back with the correct grading, which is what I gave him. I said, this is what it actually should be graded at. But he was still trying to sell it for the same price. I don't know how it worked out. I think he kept lowering it. I didn't track it, but I have that in one of the videos somewhere. You can, if you feel like digging. So it worked out well. So this one, another shout out to Stunty, because he definitely made me jealous on this one. And I can't believe I was able to get one too. I'd never seen one come up for sale. I think Stunty ended up getting his copy from someone through the OBC, Michael's OBC, which I'm also involved in. I'm going to invite everybody up soon, or whoever wants to come up soon. I want to get through my spiel. I'm going to tell you how many records I bought very soon. This is Songs for Cleaning Guppies by Chris Knox. The very first solo record of his following Toy Love, Tall Dwarfs, or during Tall Dwarfs, essentially, was happening at the same time. There's only 300 copies of these pressed. And now I got it from New Zealand. No, not true. I got it from Australia, from a seller who had never sold any records before. Yeah, there it is. He's not sold records before at all. So I contacted him. And Stunty also likes to talk about this, and he's right. You really should, especially with someone who hasn't sold, and if you're going to buy something from abroad, and it's something that is not cheap, you should be contacting the seller and talking through it. You're not obligated to sort of, commit to buy and then be done with it. The thing to do, and I talked to Stunty about this a bit, is like you click to buy, so it takes it off the marketplace, which I give you more credit to Stunty. I didn't know this. Well, there's a few things you can do to sort of get records that are restricted to you. As an American, I couldn't buy this record in Australia, but there's a way to go around that, which we can talk about. But essentially, I made it so that I took it off the marketplace by confirming to buy it, and then we started the negotiations. He sent me pictures. He sent me a video of it playing because he was not familiar with grading. A lot of times that can work out in your favor. And he sent me pictures. He sent me the record playing. Now, it does not play completely clean, but this is a lo-fi indie record from someone who is completely in his own league, whether you like him or not. This Chris Knox was making music unlike anyone else. I mean, 100%. And so this was an absolutely essential record, and I put it on my list for this year to get. And this is the one out of everything no, there's a few that I didn't think I'd get, but I didn't expect to see this one in my hands. So it only got this about a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, and it fits the bill. It plays great. I also got a Bats record from him that I didn't have. So he was selling some Flying Nun things and just a bunch of other random stuff, but completely new to selling. So that ended up working out. A lot of comments floating by. I'm sorry, folks. Pat. Yeah, I'm going to explore my feelings about music. I've done it before. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I got one more to show, and this is the one I got just 2 days ago when I came back from my little Christmas trip. And this is the original Modest Mouse. I don't know how many people are into this band. This is the last original I didn't have, The Lonesome Crowded West, which is a double album, but they released it as like two separate LPs, and the reissue is this way. This is one of the greatest records of all time for me. This band was so dialed in at this point and making music that was a travelogue, like very deep, very honest. The guitar-wise, this guy influenced me in more ways than one. Just in what he did with guitar and sort of, pitch bending and just stylistically, And if you don't know this record, I highly encourage you to check out the reissue. If anyone wants my reissue, I'll happily sell it. This came from Portland Everyday Music, who, again, this is one I knew how to wait out for the fair price. And this is the only one I really ever had to pay a lot for, because the other ones I got many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. So they weren't much then, but the original Up pressing, this was on my list this year. Up Records. Pretty stoked. Sounds great. It's got the inner sleeves. And that's the 14 of the 23 that I was able to procure. I'm going to do some comments. I'll show my 10 favorite finds, and then I'll invite people up. No, I did not get that. That is one that I've also been after, Russell. I know. I knew you'd want to keep that a secret. It's not really much of a. I'm sure other people could figure it out, but yes, yeah. Johnny Marr did. He toured with them later on. The times I had seen them was before Johnny Marr. I saw the band in '99 and 2000, 2001, and there. It is a classic. I don't know what that means, Mazzy. Yeah, it's a life changer for me, and it's obviously one I know incredibly well, and it's one of those that I still need to have. It's one of those I want to have for nostalgia, for one that I do play. I knew you'd be a hater on that one. Come on, give it a chance, or don't. Who cares? You don't have to like it. Yeah, so I now have all the original Modest Mouse pressings, many of the 7 inches. This band was, like I said, they were just so dialed into their own sort of wavelength and making such timeless guitar rock. No one else sounded like this band, and still doesn't. They're terrible now. I don't know. Maybe some people like them now. I haven't liked them since the Moon in Antarctica, which was a step down, but still liked it. I don't have anything after that album, so what can you say? I have varied tastes. All right, let's show you my 10 favorite. I mean, some of these would weigh in as my 10, my top 10, whatever, purchases, top 10 sort of original pressings I got this year. But these are the ones I'm going to show separately, because I like to sort of cheat in that way to make another list. I showed this already, Contemporary Jazz Quintet. This was procured from Alex Moderick 24/7 on the Strata label. Roberto Cacciapaglia, Si Notte in Logica. This is on the Philips label. One that I've been sort of really, I've been kind of quiet about how bad I wanted this one, just because, and it really happened when I discovered the Ann Steele album, which I'd like to pull out and show, just because I want to make sure that people know this record. Now, this record has nothing to do with this soundtrack, which this is a soundtrack, and it's very much in the Steve Reich drumming sort of mold with voices. It's one long piece essentially, but this is Cacciapaglia working with, I guess she was an actress or not a musician, but she was a singer and she was the vocalist. He picked her to do all of these songs, and this is like a pop album, but a synth pop album, and it's great. And I discovered this. I started looking more into Cacciapaglia, and it led me to that, but they really don't have anything to do with each other. But I started checking that out online, and I went from there. I know my pal Alex has a copy. He showed it at some point. James showed it recently, and maybe it was somewhat recently. So this one led me to that, even though they have nothing to do with each other. Anyway, continuing along. Sergius Golovin. This is I showed this sometime a month ago or so. Original pressing on the this is the Or label or the Commission. Very much like the Timothy Leary 7-Up record, but I think better. This includes people like Klaus Schulze, Walter Westrup, Witthauser, Bernd Witthauser. Yeah, it's sort of like a band backing him, and he's sort of the creating the sort of atmosphere vocally and sort of doing a early new age, you might say. Very cosmic. I'm a big collector of the American Primitives, and this is absolutely essential. This is a cheap reissue, but a tough original. Don Beekoff, Celestial Explosion. Magical record. It's in the Fahey sort of mold, but he definitely puts a little more space in his record, a little more cosmic sound. This keyboard label, there's not a lot of, it's mostly budget records on this keyboard label, except for this one. This one I had told a story about because when I was digging with George, owner of Angermom Records, for the store many years ago now, I found one of these in this dollar bin, and it was the property of Angermom because I was working for Angermom. So George got to take this for the store. My mistake was not putting my name on it, like, hey, please then sell this to me. I just spaced, and so I missed it. But got this for a fair price. Yeah, anyone who does not know this, Tompkins Square did this reissue. It's his only record. I think he might have done stuff more recently. I could be making that up, but this one's well worth checking out if you don't know it. Let me do some see about some comments here. My track stopped, but that's okay. I like esoteric, obscure, and obvious stuff too. I mean, I do. You just don't know, Stunty. You're wrong on that one. I did not get the obscure box because I'm halfway through getting the UK pressings, so I'm going to wait on that. But it's a worthy idea. Oh boy, we got a lot of stuff to catch up with. I'm still obsessed with Modest Mouse from that era. I just think they were in their own world, in a great world at that. Yeah, me and Brandon, we've talked about this. Okay. Probably the heaviest of this year. I did a whole video about this record. The Oak of Golden Dreams by Harold Budd on the Advanced Recordings label. I got this from Japan. I don't regret it at all. Did what I had to do. I sold some records and paid back, and all is well. And I'm so this one just enraptured me, essentially. I did a video on this. You can find it in my feed. The first Harold Budd record has never been reissued. There's a CD compilation of it with the other composer who was sort of on the Steve Reich and Oliveros record, Marksfeld. I want to talk so much about this, but check out the video in my feed if you want to check it out. What am I missing here? Yeah, I did like that single "Float On." I think it was a good song. They have definitely dropped off. You kind of wonder what happens. I was talking about this with my son. We were listening to their compilation, Building Nothing Out of Something, and he's like, "Why don't you like the newer Modest Mouse?" I'm like, "Well, they changed. They got older. They got, there was less urgency behind what they were doing. When you're younger and you have nothing else to focus on, I think you can get that dialed in. When you get older and other things become factors, shit changes." This was certainly one of my favorite one I couldn't believe to find in Long Island of all places, in their sort of like Grail bin or like a higher price bin. This was priced at a kind of high, but not really for what this is. It's never sold as low as I got it for. This is on the Dogtown label, which if you don't know, there's only a few records out on that label from Philadelphia. The Khan Jamal, an all-time favorite record, and you all know the Khan Jamal record, Drum Dance of the Motherland. But this is also on that label. J.R. Mitchell with Bayard Lancaster, Sid Simmons, Drum Hunter, and yeah, there it is, live at McAllister. This is as good as it looks. Now, all the only issues here are this here. Otherwise, this is in really nice shape. The record, and this is why I knew I couldn't walk out of that store without it, is wonderful. Wonderful. And it's a wonderful record. It's a live recording, as I said. It's free. It's meditative at times. It's loose. It was a must. And it wasn't one I was actively looking for because I just didn't think I would ever see it. So this probably goes as one of my favorites for sure from the year, or, finds from the year. TV personality Ann Steele, right? I don't know. I've not heard many people reference that record. I think it's excellent. I need the single that has songs that are not on the LP. I don't have that. I used to have the reissue, which did, but Tom Richion. I just got the reissue of Japanese Cassette. Hey, Mike. No, I need to get that. And of course, Stunty played the Willie Lane a couple weeks back. I have one Willie Lane record that I really like. The other ones I haven't gotten into, but the one that Stunty played, I'm looking for. Yeah, I know. It's cool. It's all good. I can take it. Are they? Okay. I've heard good things. Yeah, that's the thing. I felt like with the obscure UKs, they're not that hard to get. I do see them here. I do see them here in the US. So I'm going to keep moving. I got a couple more. I've talked so much about Windy and Carl this year. Mike, I know you know him, Bostonian Reggie. This is second album, first LP, Drawing of Sound. I'm not going to take it out, but this is, I actually looked into contacting this artist. I have to dig a little further because I'd like to work with this artist who did this sleeve work. How incredible. I know, I'm sorry about the reflection. This Mazzy this is an all-time favorite sleeve for me. I've taken it out before. I've showed it, but I need to contact Windy and Carl and see if they can get me in touch with this artist because I want to work with them. I think it's a him. I've talked about Windy and Carl a lot. I will do a focus on them at some point. A couple more. All-time favorite reggae record. I've had the reissue. This is the Joint International U.S. pressing. Came out as a U.S. release. I don't believe it came out as a Jamaican or UK. My favorite Keith Hudson, hands down. I do love Blood of My Blood and have that reissue, and I think it's amazing. This one is a notch above for me. Playing it cool, playing it right. This is the original pressing, of course. Someone wrote all the tracks out, which I do not mind at all. I mean, these were DJ records at the end of the day. This is a top 5 dub or reggae record for me. You all know this, African Skies. An eBay purchase. Didn't get it for a deal. I've talked about it, but I missed out on buying this when it was a new record for $20 here in Ithaca. I just missed it. Just for the price that I was able to get. Wasn't cheap, but just never thought I'd see it for less. It was before FMU. I didn't even see it at FMU. So a super special, spiritual, engrossing record from 1993, recorded as a Sun Ra tribute in a sense at the Alder Planetarium in Chicago. We should all probably be familiar with this. You can stream this, I think. I believe you can stream most of it, if not all of it, on YouTube. Even if we see a reissue of it, I don't regret it. And from WFMU, this Palm record, the Gilson, Jean-Luc Ponty, Jean-Charles Calpin, Gilbert Rover, Lionel Majal, and Gilson recorded live. I'd hope to find more Palm records this year, but I'm not the only one looking for them, as you know. Beautiful labels. So that rounds out my 10 favorite finds of the year. I have new releases and new reissues of the year to show. I might sort of invite some people up to talk about those. I'm going to tell you before I invite people up. Let me troll these comments for a bit. And I'm going to tell you that I didn't buy 72 records in 2023. I bought 433. So there's that. There's that cat out of the bag. I thought I was controlling myself, as you can all relate to. It is a gem. It is a gem. I'm glad you like that. Carl Holtgren of Windy and Carl. So for many, I went in spurts this year. It was very little for the first 2 months. Then I got a little bit heavy. I took breaks. I got heavy again. Of course, we had WFMU. I did various digs around. I was very surprised that that's where I ended up. It was 495 in 2022, so I am down to 433, but I'm not going to put that sort of number on my 2024 again. Well, I'm not going to do that. I don't think that was it was an experiment, and I knew it would. I didn't think I'd be that far off, though. I did not. Yes. I think it will. I really think it will. All right. Yeah, so close. Shit. I did even more than that. Well, I sold some off too, and that still is the net number. I looked through what I bought just to make sure. I made some mistakes and got rid of those, even from the splurge of WFMU purchases. Some things that just weren't what I thought they were, or weren't as good as I thought they would be from previously looking for them. But that's where I ended up. 433. I'm going to see if anyone wants to join. I'm going to send it to the few people first, and then we'll see who joins, and I'll open it up to everyone. If you're getting this link from me, then jump in if you like. I'll bring up some comments. Yeah, absolutely. I'm buying less and less reissues, and I'll talk about some of those, but there's some that I'm happy to get if it makes sense, 100%. Ooh, I did not see that. Apparently Cranky's going to reissue some of the records that have been harder to get. I'm still looking for one of the ones on Cranky, Depths. Yeah. I love it. Let's see who wants to join. I know. I really would have liked to just buy those 23. I mean, a few of them on that list I didn't even get a sniff at, like Brass Burn, or Brass Burn was one the Jeannie Lee I definitely flirted with a bunch. Yeah, I do think if I'm going to purge some records, the box sets might be the ones that I go to, but I really don't want to. There's nothing there that I don't love. We'll see. Box sets are an easy thing to do because they create space. You probably don't play them. They're usually retain their value or worth more. Here we go. Here's a man who loves box sets. What's up, dude?
Happening.
Well, I've been talking for a while. So
yeah, I missed the first 15 or 20 minutes. I was filing away some things from the dig.
I'm going to have a filing Armageddon come from now.
Yeah, that's what just happened here for a while, because I'm really anal about my filing. So it's, alphabetical and
Oh, you do A to Z overall, huh?
Oh, and by release date. On top
Well,
of that.
okay, so what I've been doing is to track this year is I've kept everything I bought non-filed. So I have like 433 records to file essentially.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And room needs to be made, of course.
That's an absolute party.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
You need to bring over the crew from work.
Yeah.
Have a keg. Like there's that's serious business.
I do like filing records, but the problem is I got to create space first, and that brings up issues.
I feel like a librarian doing it.
Yeah, and it can be tedious,
like
especially
archivist.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah. So Jamie,
when you do it, you find records that you hadn't heard in a while. So when you're filing, I end up pulling things to listen to that I hadn't listened to in a while. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't believe I have this.
Yeah, that's the thing is there'll be a lot of that, but I'm still going through. There's obviously still records to play. Like I'm just getting into our dig,
Yeah, I'm still right now. Like I've been listening to just the stuff before the dig, so I have to get to the dig. There's the man.
Go ahead. Lay it on me. Go ahead.
Hello, Dave. How are you feeling?
Much better. Thank you. Yeah, I found a good doc finally, Stunty.
Oh, in the U.S.
Oh yeah, well he's Asian, and he's got 33 years experience. So yeah, and it's funny. He's like, yeah, that other guy you were seeing, I get a lot of his patients. So yeah, it was just.
That's a good sign.
You had that was the Dr. Nick of Simpsons essentially that you had there going.
Yes. So all is right in the world again.
Oh, wow, that's good, and that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
you definitely look.
This dude came in full surgical gown. I never met him. He's ready to go, and he fist bumps me and goes, He looked at my chart from the last hospital visit. He goes, "I'm gonna fix your problem." Those were the first words out of his mouth.
Hey,
wow, that must be such a big relief to hear these words.
Yeah, and it was a big deal. So I got to follow up mid-month, January, and should be on the right path here.
Yeah, you look good,
very,
Dave.
Very glad to hear.
Yeah,
I guess I was already aware of that since you guys you met the other day, right?
What's
that? A week ago.
Yes, Dom was already aware of that since you guys met last week.
Oh yeah. This WFMU now I hope to make in the fall. And
yeah, this is going to be a big improvement.
Yeah, you said it's going to be back at the old location.
The original Manhattan location, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be able to leave and go get food and all that kind of stuff and go back in.
Yeah, you'll be in Midtown Manhattan. Well, lower Midtown, 6th Avenue and 18th Street. So it's going to be way better.
Yeah, and then people like, Rob in Boston are going to probably come down
right
for that. So there should be even more folks, involved.
Shit, maybe I should come then.
Yeah, you should.
So that I don't give lists to Alex to pick stuff for me that he keeps for himself.
Yeah. Well,
I don't have fix my camera.
You can be our tour guide.
Through
the French bins.
Oh!
Reorient, Chris.
Wow.
Look at that. Was not expecting to see you. I'm happy to see you, man. Can I turn you around? I don't know if I can.
Vertically challenged.
No, I cannot. That works, Chris.
Either way is fine, Chris. We'll be able to hear you.
Well, we haven't heard him yet, so don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Yes, Mazzy, it's going to be original location Manhattan, so that should be improvement for WFMU 2024. It's November 1st and 2nd, November 2024. They have it listed, so.
Yeah, I think the powers that be must have gotten informed from many people that it needed to be somewhere else.
No, it was. I mean, there were, in the end of the day, it was a room full of dealers with records, so you can't complain all that much. But there was a lot of, just as we talked about, problems around that.
Yeah.
Chris kind of looks. I haven't seen Chris live in a long time, and he kind of looks like he has the haircut of the old guys in The Sopranos. So it's not surprising.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me in the right way, or am I?
No.
There's nothing right about that haircut, Chris.
There we go.
There
like the Yardbirds.
Now you're good.
That better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Oh, there you go. Unmute.
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah, I do have hair.
Good to see you, man. What's happening?
I'm taking care of my dad, and in between, figure I'd holler at you guys. See, I got the football game on for him and make sure he's comfortable.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's in a hospital bed up there, so it's been kind of rough. You guys, all three of you guys already know the situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad he's there and not where he was before.
Yeah, I mean, he's watching football. If he had a beer, he'd be real happy.
Yeah, he's in a good spot. What game they got on?
Dallas and Detroit.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's an NFL game. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I got some free records today.
Where?
Was it one of the ones you showed earlier?
Anybody know this?
Hold on, let me get you big here.
No.
I
Interesting
know
cover.
Thomas Chapin, Spirits Rebellious. If you like Don Cherry, especially like his organic jazz type style, this is very Don Cherry-esque.
Huh.
It's a double. I have it. It was free.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I was
Was this
like,
at the shop?
I don't know it.
Was this at the shop, Chris?
Ella Sarah Records out of Connecticut. I think that was Mario Provost's label. It's like a jazz label. Chapin's gone, sadly, but if you like Don Cherry, this is a great record.
That's a Minko record then.
People ignore it because it's 1989, and they look at the cover and go, "No," but they don't bother to listen to it. So, yeah, I grabbed this for somebody. Maybe I'll give this to Stumpy actually, because he doesn't know it.
Yeah, there you go.
I know him because I think he has a. It's weird. I'm going to talk about a CD. Do you guys remember this compilation called State of the Union? It's a double CD of like rock in opposition and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, and he's featured on that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Alan. This is a nice record. This is very Dave Gibson-ish. Alan Youngblood, Selah, on his own label, Griot.
Great cover.
Priester, Hadley Kalaman, Gary Peacock, Jerry Granelli. Early 80s again, goes for like $5 on Discogs. It's like basically post-pop spiritual record that is pretty much ignored unless you know what it is.
Julian Priester, huh?
Yeah, you can see the new music distribution.
Yep. You got a couple more? Oh, Shapey.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I have this too. Got tape.
Is it the Safred record playing now?
Yeah, I saw it. Upside B, yes. Good. I'm glad you can hear it.
Yeah, this is pretty nice choral pseudo-religious tape stuff. It's not bad. And mainly got this because I really like the Shawantner piece, Aftertones, and Affinity. It's a 20th century orchestral piece.
That I've not seen.
All three.
Yeah, cool. And that was that from the shop, Chris?
Yeah, if they're $4.99 or $1.99, Steve's like, go ahead, take them. So I build up my DLT stats and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
this is a $35-$40 record in discounts. But a lot of people would ignore it because it's like 80s, cover looks like nothing.
Yeah, right.
So I'm
I
gonna
would
put this,
imagine Minko has that record. He in Connecticut.
I think I told him about it.
Yeah,
I'll probably put this aside for Stunky and stuff like that.
there you go.
Did you happen to catch the record I played for you yesterday?
You know what? I listened to some of this stuff. Oh yeah, I don't have that. But it's a great.
Oh, right. I think that's just when I stepped out.
I know you know that, but what's interesting about it is this kind of right at the crossroads of you and me, since this is Bob Moses experimenting with drum machines and synthesizers as well. So you got like the really like fusion drumming, but with something kind of very modern in it's the kind of music style called tropical melody, which is something a bit fourth world, but also a bit industrial almost. Yeah.
1750 art.
Oh yeah, you know it's but it's on a German label, and it's a $5 record, I think. I'm not sure.
Is it a 1750 arch, you said, or no, it's not?
It's not. It's not. This is on. I don't even know the label. It's a German label. I can't even. Yeah, ITM record.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
Why
thinking
do I know that Bob Moses name? What other records?
Bob Moses, he's played on hundreds and hundreds of records. He's one of like the most like interesting jazz drummers that went beyond jazz.
Even this Gramavision it's a good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did stuff on Gramavision. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, John Carter was on a bunch of that. On that
Chris, you know what was? Can you answer Kieran here? What was the second record?
Oh, sorry. It is Alan Youngblood, Stila, on Rio Records from 1984. I talked to Kieran, so I'll send him the information. I'll give you this record if you want it.
That would definitely be in Kieran's wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'll put it aside for you, Kieran. So, and I'll give you a thought.
It's the master of VCLT here.
Yeah.
This record. Anybody have this record? Marshland on 1750 Arch.
That's a 17. Okay, cool. No.
So good. Yeah, with Mel Graves. Mel Graves. They were in. It was Denny's Nightland's working band for a long time. With Graves and Marsh. Graves' solo record on this label too is fantastic. This is fantastic stuff. If you like percussion, anyhow. Stunty, you would like that probably.
Yeah.
Alex.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you sent a percussion package for Alex that he was very happy with.
Yeah, well, how
Brandon's
many
got
of us are into that? How many of the? Yeah, and see, Brandon has that. Yeah. How many people are into percussion records like that?
Yeah, how come we don't have any good solo Ringo album, huh?
Ringo? Oh, God.
He was not a bad drummer. He had some good ideas.
I love his drumming. Come on now.
I heard Stunt that you played one of my favorite McCartney tracks. Midnight. Yeah, that's the bass line alone. Master of the hooks on there, amazing.
It's amazing, but you really have to have the 12-inch because it's an extended version, and like as all these records from late 70s, early 80s, it's all about the beginning of the third act with the breaks and all the crazy dubby stuff happening. I mean, the whole track is great. It works from start to end. There's not a single weak moment in the whole track. But
I agree. It's an awesome 12-inch.
Yeah.
There we go, Kieran. So yeah, Chris.
A cool way to end a mix and a stream, I thought.
Yeah,
there's a bunch.
Chris, you heard about the story of your VCLT package to me, right? Today in my video.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
Glad I got that out
I picked up
finally.
the box and the whole box was just sod.
Oh, geez.
And my
Yeah,
heart,
wrapped it well.
oh, dude, you did, because my heart sank. I got it in the house. I was like, oh man. I opened it. You had so much tape that the records were dry as a bone.
Yeah, yours and Dom's box were pretty hefty.
Oh,
I'm
that
gonna
thing
say,
was
so.
yeah.
Well, it's funny. I'm just going through your box, which has been beautiful, but
Yeah.
that arrived on. I think it arrived on the day that I met you, Dave, in Rochester.
Oh yeah.
My wife took it in. She's like, "Are these presents for the family?" I'm like loosely.
Oh, they all get to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're presents for me. I'm part of the family. But luckily, Dave, after I left you, I found my wife the perfect mid-century modern lamp that she wanted. So I didn't fail. I thought I was going to fail.
I told my mom
not.
about those places you went because she's a
Yeah.
big antique person. So
Yeah, I actually found it was perfect. So
You
Nice.
need to come to Stockholm because like the best record store in secondhand record store in Stockholm is also like a lamp antique shop at the same time.
wow.
the
Maybe
lamp I got
talk
is
about them. It's called An Ideal of Living, which is
oh no shit.
great name if you know the reference, obviously.
The lamp I
just
got
got-
is made
I-
in Sweden. So
Yeah, I just got some records coming from Stockholm a couple days ago.
From a shop? Or
Yeah.
from
What's the shop called? It's Lars.
I got
Oh,
by night, by the way,
that's
Russell.
fun. The shop doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
oh no! You're talking about I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
It's
the
still
one.
open. He does
Yeah.
listings every Friday.
Yeah.
It's a new shop every Friday, and he always has these crazy collections.
Yeah, there's like in the Swedish community, like he had a dear friend who was one of the best Swedish hip hop producers who I pressed his last record actually, and he passed away earlier this year, totally out of the blue. And Lars did a post recently on Instagram about that he got a great collection to sell, but that is also like bittersweet because it's of his best friend. If you look at his Instagram, you'll figure out which one it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Record Mania.
Yeah, Record Mania.
Yeah. He just put up a ton of FMP titles and stuff like that. So
Yeah, he gets them. I mean, FMP records are, I wouldn't say common in Stockholm, but they're not rare. Like if you're patient enough, all the mid-range ones you will find in a new shape. As you know from the one you got from me, it was almost new, right?
yeah, that's a nice record.
Yeah.
Real nice
Well, it feels like they imported a fair amount of those here. I mean, we see them here. I feel like
I don't here in the South. I don't see them at all.
I have a handle.
I have to always get a plane ticket usually with FMP. But I'm also in a small city. Charlotte's not very big.
You have a lot of
comparison
Waylon Jennings records down
to other
there, Dave.
places. But
we got lots of country, no question. Country records, Waylon Jennings.
Oh yeah, I loaded up on that stuff when I got in a little country phase last year or something, because one of my locals has got a huge section and it's still all originals, like super cheap, like so they never went in and upped the prices on any of that stuff. So
I'm gonna throw out the link if anyone out there, Jamie, Russell, Mike, Brandon,
Jamie's in the
Alex.
States.
I don't think he is yet. I think
Or
it's
on
later
his
this
way
month.
soon, maybe here soon.
So you guys,
So
if health spares us, do you already have some kind of specific objectives for 2024?
I do. Mm-hmm. I made a list already. 24 records for 2024.
Well, right now I'm gonna. My plan for 2024 was already half destroyed by Lars with his last sale, but I only have really two goals this year. March, there's a big auction that Mats Gustafson's holding, and then WFMU in the fall. Those are my two big things. So I got to try to hold off on everything else here for a few months.
There you go.
I think you're the winner of 2023 anyways, Dave, in terms of who got the most incredible dig.
Which one?
Yes.
Which dig?
You got one record this year that is not necessarily amazing musically, but is just amazing.
Stays close to my heart and my hands.
No, it's not that one.
No, that one's because of Chris and Megan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. I don't think. I know how Stunty feels about that record. Sort of.
I take that record to bed with me.
No, I was talking about the Sunrise record you got earlier in the year.
Oh, you talking about this one?
Alex.
There we go.
Yeah, Horizon. Yeah, Horizon.
No. Is it the one? No, the one from the 30s.
You're talking about the 10-inch or the shellac.
Yeah.
That
78.
was last year. That was 2022.
Ah, okay. That was late 2022.
Yeah. That was that record. That record belongs like in the archives in Cornell or Dom works or something. It doesn't belong with me. I got to get that into some proper hands. I mean that needs to be, I don't know, somewhere.
Well, until then, it's in your hands, on your shelves, and it's over a year, and it's still the best dig of 2023, anyways, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's and you can. It's interesting because Alex he listened to it on. There's an actual clip of it on YouTube. You can listen to the song "Chocolate Avenue," and you can hear in the playing. You can hear the style that Mr. Williams is playing. That it is definitely written by someone. I mean, you can definitely hear it how it's a little bit jagged in how the notes are played in that song, especially near the end of the song. Very interesting that he would write him and send him that music, and then it would be used. I think he's sat on the music for maybe 3 or 4 years. I think he was sent that in the late 20s.
You got it handy there, Dave? You want to show it? You want to show it?
It's locked up in another room. It wasn't a safety deposit box for a while, but now because it's a priceless record.
Well, tell everybody what it is. Who doesn't know?
Oh, hold on, I'll go get it.
It's attainable. It's there. It's in the house. Come on.
Now we can.
Paul wants to know.
Can anyone tell Dave's home address to the people?
Oh yeah.
No, it's
the best thing about that record for me is that it's amazing, it's incredible, and I'm not even jealous because it's not for me, but I know how incredible it is.
Yeah, just the rarity of it, and just the fact that it exists is what it's all about.
The fact that it exists and that someone has it and knows what it is, because that's also unlikely when you understand the whole story about it. There's probably a bunch of people who have it and who have no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Clarence Williams and his orchestra. Chocolate Avenue is the A side on the Vocalion label from 1933. It's a shellac 10-inch. The Brunswick Record Corporation, and it's a lovely track. But yeah, Mr. Blunt was a big fan of Clarence Williams growing up, so he wrote him in New York City and sent him his first real music that he ever wrote when he was like 17 or 18. And then they used it in 1933 when they put this out, but didn't give any credit. And then in one of the Sun Ra books in the 80s, he mentioned in an interview about this. So that's how it came to be known. And then I learned about it through the Omniverse book that Hart McGurkin wrote. I have that here somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, stunning.
Yeah, so anybody getting into Sun Ra just needs to buy this book. This is the Holy Bible right now for me. I have another book as well, the Space is the Place book that Alex sold me, but this one with Chris Trent. Yeah, this lists. There's 275 releases listed in this book for Sun Ra, including all the early 7-inches. But it listed that record, and that's, you know, I put it on the want list on Discogs, and one popped up. And then the crazy story on how I got it and all that. I have a video about it.
Brandon.
So,
Hello, gentlemen.
but yeah, thanks for bringing this up, Stunty. I hadn't pulled it out in a minute.
Yeah, it's
The interesting thing is the B-side, Dispossessing Me, the other song, was not written by Sun Ra. Only the A-side was. The B-side was not.
and how is it?
It's okay. It's not as good as the first side. For the first side, it's more interesting because it is. You're thinking, wow, 1933, and he was playing that piano style. It's not what probably the public was into as much.
Would you say that maybe getting that record got you maybe more interested in music from that area?
What's that?
I mean, the reason you got it is the Sun Ra connection, but just getting it, did it get you maybe into the beginning of a rabbit hole of music from that area as well?
Oh, to go into more music from back then.
Yeah, in music from that area, from that age.
Well, it took me into listening to some more Duke Ellington, because that's what would come from this, you know, and that's an artist that gets dismissed quite a lot because, you know, his there's a million Duke Ellington records and they're all still relatively cheap, but you know, there's certain ones that are better than others. So
I'm looking for that Duke Ellington. There's like a Christmas record with Billy, what's his name? Whatever it is. It's a Christmas record. One of the few Christmas records I'm looking for.
Billy
Yeah.
Eckstein?
Eckstein.
Eckstein or Eckstein? Yeah.
That's actually kind of hard to find.
I would argue that
Yeah, some of that old stuff is not, you know, it's not as easy to find anymore. You know, I'm not seeing it in Ellington records and dollar bins as much. I think the jazz revival has kind of caused that, but
I would argue that Duke Ellington is probably one of the 10 most important composers of the 20th century.
yeah, huge. That jazz documentary, I have that on DVD. There's some really good stuff in that, across the board. But yeah, the stuff on him was great in that. Who's the guy that did that?
Do you know that John Hassel did a cover of Caravan on that only came out on CD in '98? The album is called Caravanesque, and it's like a dub fourth-rolled John Hassel version of Duke Ellington, and it's just it's my favorite John Hassel record. Unfortunately,
Really?
it's not yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. Wow. Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's
And
probably
you said
cheap.
it's on CD.
Yeah, only on CD.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
What that with Fantanoma or something? Is that it?
Fascinoma, yeah, the record is called Fascinoma. I'm working with someone on trying to get it reissued on vinyl, but
Oh, really?
it's complicated. But it's not impossible, but yeah.
Let us
Yeah,
know
you
if that
guys,
happens.
I saw you just picked up Dreamscape in Malaysia. It's a good one.
Alex, how are you doing? What's some of your favorite records this year?
Yeah, I think I showed a couple in my last video, but since Stunty's here, I did pick up this 7 earlier this year.
Very good.
And you'd love this, Dave. This is
Yeah, I've been looking for that for years.
yeah, I've put a thing on it, but yeah, it's Brutzman.
Hmm.
It's maybe my favorite record package ever.
Yeah, that back cover
That's
is
cool.
amazing.
Very cool.
Already like a gatefold 7-inch. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, like for those who don't know, the cover art of that record is my avatar on Instagram.
Right. So, interestingly, it made it to the U.S. through North Country Distributors out of Redwood, New York.
Yeah, I picked up a record recently on our dig that has that sticker on the back. That it's kind of like the East Coast version of the guy out in Oakland.
No, this just came in today. It's on Drag City. The new Andrew Draplat.
Yep.
One of his compositions with he's on bass.
Arnold Draplat.
What's that?
Arnold, not Andrew.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Arnold. Yeah. But yeah, really good. It actually has a lot of sort of Noi, kind of early Noi vibes on this one. Yeah, check him out on Drag City. It's really good. Pretty cheap.
That's new music, right, Alex?
Yeah, I think it was recorded. Let's see, 2019, 2020, because I think, Warren Ambarchi died, right? And he's on this. So.
Yeah, and talking about Indian navigation, it's that's his first album here.
Yes.
Yeah,
On,
Yeah, I need that one.
Oh wow! I rarely see that record at all.
No. Drag City did it, a reissue too.
oh,
Yep. Yes.
My
yes,
favorite- my favorite dig of 2023 is a total fail, as I talked about it before I got the record, and some of you know what happened with that. Chris knows very well.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have the greatest record digging story of all time. That you know the story I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the Folkways record, the Darius Dolat.
It's a story only Stunty, but it's something only Stunty would give.
And then John, or Chris. This is the CD that you sent me, Chris, in your VCLT.
You like it?
Yeah, well, so the only reason I was able to play it is because I bought my daughter a boombox for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I was able to throw it on there, and yeah, it's awesome.
It was new to me, like completely. I don't know who he is. We listened to it at the shop, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this for Alex.
Yeah, so it's a Mexican saxophone player. He plays like the alto. But yeah, it's called, the name of the album is called Electroacoustic Saxophone of Mexico by Omar Lopez. And it's not on Discogs. It's from 2013. I'll probably give it to Sherv because I think Sherv has a CD player still.
Yeah, Sherv still listens to a bunch of CDs.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the record that Chris was talking about.
Wow.
Yeah, impossible to find for me.
Yeah.
For like 25, 30 years or something, just never see it.
I know one person who's looking for that.
That's a really cool cover.
Probably 3 or 4 of us.
So the way I got it is, as you know, I'm obsessed with Folkways, and especially with the whole electronic avant-garde series of Folkways, which is about 50, 60 records. And that one, back in the days in Discogs, like very few people knew about it. And it wasn't my one piece, and suddenly one guy has it. And I contact him. No, I buy it, and I'm about to order, and he canceled the transaction because he doesn't want to ship outside of the US. And he pulls out the record and puts his account on private. But I still had taken like a screenshot of his address, because you know sometimes the seller has their address in the order page.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on Craigslist and looked for someone who lived in his city who would offer his time for money and asked him to go and knock on the door of the guy and to ask him if he has the record and bought the record that way.
Yeah, it takes all kinds, I guess.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That is a man that's not going to be denied.
Yeah.
I got to start going through some more extreme measures.
It's
I
like
think,
it's
for,
like with
for
this,
my record.
the story of me getting this shellac, because I remember Alex's comment. You know, the don't mess with a 78 collector scorned. Because I mean I ripped in. I went in the annex, and I went 2 levels up. The first person that came to the window, I was like, I need to speak to your manager. And then the manager came up, and I said, congratulations, I need to speak to your manager. I went 2 levels up so I could get that record hunted down. It was 10 houses down the road or something.
It is a little stalky, but I mean,
You got to do what you got to do.
but it works.
Sometimes people don't understand how crucial these records are for us.
Yeah.
It's not like we have families and friends and children, no?
I don't. Yeah. Well,
Well, three people do in this group. I have children and
Brandon, what about you? What was the highlights?
I was just going to ask Brandon, sir.
The highlight, I don't know. I really have a lot of recency bias when it comes to records for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've shown you guys this before, but this box set, something that I've been after for a very long time.
Oh, Cubico. Wow.
You guys know this?
Yeah.
Hart McGurkin. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for some reason, I've been into Michael Ranta for the last couple of years. And this is like a tour of 6 cities through the Middle East and Asia. I know we have our opinions on box sets, but
How does it sound?
it sounds great. It sounds awesome. It's clean, not very much noise at all.
Do you have the other box set of him with Connie Plank?
Yeah.
On Metaphone, yeah. That's a great record. How does it compare to the one on Cubico?
About this one or the other?
Yeah.
Different one?
Yeah, no, that's the one.
Yeah. I think the one on Cubico, the music's more interesting. They tend to go more, they get more out there on this tour. I don't know if it's the influence of Gherkin, but
and it doesn't sound like it was recorded with a cell phone from the audience.
no, it does not. No.
Good, because some Cubico records can be.
No, I know. No, I was pleasantly surprised at the quality of it all.
Hey, Michael.
And then, this year and the upcoming year, I plan on getting more of these. You guys probably know this series, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
These are just in front of me. That's why I'm pulling them up.
Oh my god!
Sound?
Yeah,
These are the Van Drugen Brooks.
Yeah.
great.
yeah, those.
I mean,
Yeah, that's one of the objectives for this year to complete the ones I want of this.
yeah, same.
Did you get the Van Drugen book that you were looking for? Whatchamacallit? Sound color sound.
Me? No. I still need the Arachnoid.
That's it. Yes.
Was the guy from Brain Ticket?
Here's one that was just reissued this past year. Sorry, let me take it out of the sleeve. That was on the Italian label Flirt Records. I want to get an original of this. This is pretty great. Here's the
There you
name.
go.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Mm-hmm.
There's one other that I'm after by this guy. You know this one? Goes by the name Paymont. I forgot his Italian name. Also on Flirt Records. Those are like the 2 that I'm really after. But I mean, you're talking about upwards of $250, $300.
Mm.
But
Cool.
yeah, I guess, I mean, as far as 2023, what was my biggest purchase? The Wakovich at the fair, finding that Jacques Bear call, finding anything from that French seller, really.
That was really cool. He was there. you know. And interesting, he still had a few of those records that he had up on permanent. So that really worked out for you guys.
Yeah.
My biggest purchase this year was this. Also box set.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, yeah, something.
Oh, in Italy?
Yeah, and but it doesn't feel that extraordinary because I was after Hermann records, but not the most expensive ones. And this is, I would say, the third most expensive ones, and I've only set my mind to get it for less than 2 years. So it doesn't feel like a long quest for me. So it's great. I got it for a really good deal, but it's not in my mind yet like as exciting as it should be in a way. But objectively, it's the best cat I got before.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of the ones that you showed earlier this year, because a couple of them I had that I sent to you, so I listened to those, and you know those.
And
Yeah.
you realize, okay, this is another rabbit hole for us.
Yeah, so I think I have 2 or 3 now, but yeah, it's the amazing composer.
Amazing character as well, even more than composer, I would say.
How hard was it to get that box set, Stunty?
Sorry?
How hard was it to get that box set?
Work, get money, find it online, pay, and wait for the postman. No, but I got a guy who runs an industrial music label in the US. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I found this book on eBay really cheap with a bunch of his artwork.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, most people don't know he's a musician. Most people know him as an artist, which is why his records are so damn expensive, because it crosses over between the art world and the avant-garde music world.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
And you don't understand seeing the book, but the size of these paintings is usually gigantic.
Are they mostly in a couple of countries, or I don't know where?
The biggest collectors of his are in Germany, Austria, but also in Italy. There's a Hermann Nitsch museum in Napoli that is like solely dedicated to him, and it's not tiny. It's a beautiful place, a beautiful spot that is 100% of the time dedicated to the work of Hermann Nitsch, but mostly the visual art. And maybe people don't know, but he was one of these artists who went to jail because of his art, because his art was so, like, it's not just painting. He was there's this school, the art scene that is called the Vienna Actionists, where they were doing sorts of happenings, like very long ones, where a lot of blood, bodily fluids, and naked bodies were involved. So because it's all about the sacred and the opposite of the sacred.
Oh, Steve.
So and he started that in I think maybe in the late 50s, early 60s.
Try to figure out.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, there's a weird.
Yeah, is there some echo there going on?
Distorted echo, yeah.
From, yeah. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Let's see. Well, I don't hear it right now.
Okay. Yeah, it could be Brandon. Do you have your browser closed, Brandon?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Now.
Okay. Let's see.
It's coming from me, but we didn't have the issue before.
I'm hearing it. I hear it when you talk, Stunty. But
Exactly. It's when I talk that you can hear it, but it wasn't there before. So
Yeah.
it's probably the combination of two. Yeah.
at some point, this always happens.
By the way, it was fun to hear that you got into Cassia Plaglia through the Hand Steel records, because for me, I first got this one,
Yeah, I'm missing that one.
and then I learned about the one you showed. I don't know that it's a genius record yet, to be honest.
Let's say that again. You don't think it? You don't like it? You don't like it?
No, I don't know yet. Because of your insistence about it, you put some doubt in my mind that maybe it's actually not a piece of shit.
I just think, I'll find it here. I showed it earlier. I mean, and for those who don't, who missed that, I went through a bunch of records at the start of this. So if you missed it, you can go back and check it out later. But Roberto Cacciapaglia, Italian composer, I think it would have come later on, right? The Hand Steel album was like his pop record that he made.
Yeah.
With this actress, I guess it was, right? And I find that he brings a bit of the avant-garde to his compositions for her, and her voice. I mean, I guess if you can't really get into her voice, that's where you're going to sort of leave it. But it's a little operatic. As I dig through stuff here, I'm making a mess.
Yeah, but he also if you look at that record, it's kind of it's difficult to figure out what it is to listen to, because you got the Jew harp on the cover. Back cover, it looks like a Jean-Michel Jarre record or something.
Mm-hmm.
It
No,
kind of makes no sense. Yeah.
This
cover is
one. This is the record in question. They when they reissued this, issued it as Roberto Cacciapaglia, the Hand Steel album. But the original was just called Hand Steel. It's under her name. It's on Barclay. There's a few pressings of it. I think it came out in England, France, maybe a few other countries. But he would also do that.
Yeah.
So
there's an amazing picture of him in the back of the cover, by the way.
On the Cinote.
Yeah. No, it's not him. It's the young guy.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, other way. So we're still feeding back, though. Sorry, folks. Let's see who we have here. Oh, there's Jamie. Jamie.
Are you in Chernobyl, Jamie?
Hey, Jimmy.
You look a bit red.
A bit what? Sorry.
You look a bit red. Reddish.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just the light here. I'm not normally this red.
So, are you meeting up with Alex or what?
Yeah, 5th, right? Is that what we said?
Yep, Friday. Should be fun.
Yeah. Plus a Sherv as well, I think, right?
Oh, that's going to be great.
That's what he says, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what brings you to California, Jamie?
So my partner Freya is from here originally, so we're actually over seeing her family. It's the first time we've been back here for I think 8 or 9 years, so well overdue. But we're here for 3 weeks total. So got here, I want to say 21st, 22nd. In fact, maybe it's even before that, even the 19th. But yeah, 3 weeks here until the 9th or 8th or 9th. So yeah, we should get a good day on the 5th. I think Alex is going to guide me in his capable hands. Kind of see where we go, see where we end up.
Where have you been to any shop up there?
Not really. trying to kind of stick away from that for the most part until we meet up. I've been relatively successful at that. I've hit a couple of spots. I went by to check out the new Amoeba site, having been to the old one last time I was here, and it was like a shadow of its former self. I felt. I didn't pick up anything there at all. That's pretty much the only place I've been. I hit up one store in Monterey when we were up there, just to kind of stick my head in, and got a couple of not particularly special but very cheap records that were just. It was a weird store. Most stuff was pretty overpriced, but then they had a few things here and there hidden away that were way cheaper than I would certainly find them in the UK. So I just grabbed those. And they also had just 3 bins worth of Windham Hill records, which I skipped over.
Yeah, there's a Robbie Basho on Windham Hill, so you got to.
There is, yeah. That was not.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that was there.
There's the Interior record. There's a bunch of good records there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of crap.
Yeah, Chris sent me the Interior record a while ago now. Chris sent that to me.
But yeah, I'll try to make a little itinerary here and
That's the one.
see where it takes us. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think I have it out because I want to get rid of it, but I don't know. It might be.
For me, it's really all about Brendan. It's all about one track, which is the next but last track on side 2. It's just fantastic.
But isn't the original supposed to be better? Because this is like missing.
The original doesn't have the track in question. I know Alex. The original has another exclusive. I know Alex likes it. I prefer the one you have because of that track. Very sweet track.
The track's on this one, right?
Yeah. For me, but
yeah, I've only had the Japanese one, and then I got rid of that one. But now I'm kind of looking for that one, Brandon. So.
So, Jamie, do you have anything you're hoping to find? Do you have any specific records you're looking for, or you're just looking for whatever?
Do you know, I'm keeping it quite freeform and seeing what I come across. I've had like a very specific focus to stuff I've been looking for the last 9 months, which I absolutely will not find over here because it's all been UK jazz records that I've been collecting for most of this year. It's partly like my postgrad that I'm doing, my musicology postgrad. I'm focusing on British jazz, specifically like the relationship between British jazz and literature in the 60s and 70s. So I've been kind of digging a lot of records within that field. But that's exactly the sort of stuff that it's much easier to find, obviously, at home than anywhere else. So coming here is kind of a blank slate. And I'm just sort of happy to see what pops up. If there's something that I've been looking for a long time that I've never seen, I'll maybe grab it. But equally, Alex has that mystery record that I had shipped to him.
Oh, right. That's right.
From a seller. the one that probably nearly went in the trash by accident, right?
Yeah.
He mentioned that to us.
Yeah, I really side two I really liked. Especially.
Yeah, it's a terrible cover, or maybe terrible is a strong word. It's definitely a love-hate cover, I would say. But John Taylor's a great pianist. You guys may know him from the Azimuth stuff that he did on ECM with Norma Winston, who appears on vocals like right at the end of one track on that record on the second side. But yeah, John Taylor, pianist, did a lot of stuff, kind of electric piano stuff as well. He played with like Graham Collier. A lot of stuff with Alan Skidmore and John Surman as well, like in that early mid-70s period. He had a really distinctive like electric piano sound. Yeah, cool player, really interesting voicing. So that's on Turtle Records is the label. It's like a really small UK private press label. They only put out 3 albums. There was that one, that John Taylor's one by Mike Osborne called Outback that has Johnny Diani on it. Yeah,
that's in my want
which
list,
is great.
yes.
So yeah, there's the label. Outback's a great free date, really, really great free date. And then there's one other, which is oh God, what's his name now? He did Angle as well, pianist. The name's escaping me now. May come back to me. But he did some great trio records, piano trio records, another British pianist. And those are the 3 on that label. So kind of fun, cool, quirky private press. But there was a guy who popped up on Instagram who was selling a copy over here. And he did a really good price on it. So Alex was good enough to take it in for me and hang on to it before I came over.
Maybe, do you need this one? Talking about...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a Lansdowne one, hey?
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring Evan Parker, and supposedly there might be I've heard now that Franz Furman might be playing on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was that recorded?
69, I think.
Yeah, that other.
It was released in 71, but I think it was But Johnny Trunk did a reissue of that, but not with the cover.
Yeah, Chris was just showing that Harry Beckett record there on Cadillac too, which is a great one. The Joy Unlimited record is great.
Yeah, I love Harry Beckett.
Yeah, he's his tone is beautiful. I mean,
it's real warm.
It's so warm, and there's so many albums he plays on, especially the Collier stuff, where they clearly are so enamored with like his tone and his playing that he just gets a blank, like an empty solo space where the entire band will drop out for 2-3 minutes, and yeah, it's beautiful. I really love his playing.
This is the record in question. This guy.
Oh yeah.
Robbie Basher.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I haven't seen this since this time. What I thought was on Windham Hill, but is not, is this other Basho. This is, I don't know. This is on Lost Lake, which is actually a Windham Hill subsidiary. Okay.
I've seen that one appear a few times over in the UK. The classic one on Windham Hill, there was one on eBay a couple of weeks ago that I missed out on. But other than that, you don't see that one a lot now.
Has everyone seen this documentary on him?
Yeah.
It's worth seeing. It's worth seeing.
It is.
It's a sad story, honestly.
Is it better than the John Fahey documentary?
I haven't actually seen that, to be honest.
I really didn't like it.
I have not seen it. It's not really out there. You can't really see it, can you?
Oh no, there's a DVD of it. I downloaded it. I found it on the Pirate Bay easily.
I think that's about where I haven't looked too deeply for it, I guess is the point.
It's very depressing and not that good, honestly. But you might like it. It feels a little bit like if Daniel Johnson had done a documentary about John Fahey.
So Jamie, anything else this year that comes to mind for you? Anything you want to
musically?
Yeah.
Like favorite new releases, maybe.
Anything.
Well, besides the kind of UK jazz focus I've had, music wise, the James Brandon Lewis record that came out, the Mahalia Jackson one, I thought was really fantastic. I really hate the term spiritual jazz because I think it's massively reductive, but in this case, I think it kind of applies because they really are playing spirituals. It's really kind of great fusing kind of classic blues and spirituals with free improv. And it's just, yeah, I think all of his records are great, but I think that's probably my favorite album he's put out yet. The Natural Information Society record, I know you're a massive fan of, Dom. That one for me was actually a little bit of a grower. I know you really were like hot on it as soon as it came out. It took me quite a few listens to warm up to it the way the previous ones have, but I think it's a real standout now, having spent more time with it.
I'm the opposite with this one. I'm starting to get really tired of it.
Tired of it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're tired of this record?
Yeah. For me, it doesn't live up to the initial joy I got from it. But yeah, I'm still keeping it and giving it a chance. But yeah,
I don't think it's their best record, and by far for me was the best record of the year. I think I would say Dissension or the 2017 record is slipping my mind. All the titles are sort of similar titles, but like bigger words.
you're
Where
saying
there's
that was a great
guitars
year.
on it.
So you're saying it was not a great year for you in terms of new music?
No, it was good. I mean, it's always tricky though. I feel like if I find stuff in spurts, like this one blew me away towards the end of the year. Alex told me to check this out, but I waited.
Yeah.
I waited on this until like maybe 3 weeks ago, and then it totally pulled me in. But again, then I started exploring their other records, and I was like, oh man, there's more to be heard here. You know this one, Jamie? They're a UK.
Yeah. That's another one of my favorites from this year.
Yeah.
Really, really great records. I just missed them on tour. Actually, I didn't realize until the day they were playing that they were in Glasgow, and it was too late for me to get over. But yeah, no, that's a great record.
I think this one is kind of slept on. Ulurus White. I think this one everyone should be giving this a listen. This is produced by Guy Picciotto, Fugazi, but that's just a name. This is not a Fugazi record by any stretch. But Jim White is percussion, and Ulurus White, who's a Greek musician. The Forest in Me, this is called. This is wonderful. This is a Drag City record. Yeah. So I mean, I have a bunch of things I enjoyed this year for sure. I mean, I have much more I'll talk to talk about.
I'd say the other thing for me, I've been really taken by duo records this year for whatever reason. A lot of stuff with two musicians, duo records. So there was a record, Ben Chesney and Rick Tomlinson. Did that make it across anyone else's radar?
Yeah.
That I have in my want list actually. I was looking to check that out.
Yeah, I really that one really kind of got its claws into me this year. Like anyone who likes that oh, help me still into that Shandor record, Guitar Derivé, right?
Derive.
Yeah, thank you. The first side is sort of in a similar vein to that. Not certainly not quite on that level, but there is an aesthetic kind of overlap, I would say. And then the side two is just a drone piece.
That's right. You must like that record, right? Derive on Chandar.
Say again?
No, I was saying to Chris Cole, like the Derive record, the Guitar Derive on Chandar.
Which one?
You know the drifting guitar.
Oh, yeah. Wait, now I'm spacing out on that. I know Alex, the one with the two guitarists, the British guitarists.
Yeah.
And I have the Michel Moulin record. That's how you pronounce his name. Crystallize or whatever it is called. That's kind of a drifty guitar record.
Hey, Fish. Trying to isolate the sound. You guys still are hearing that feedback, I assume.
Yeah.
I cannot find the source.
Oh, it's Brendan. It's gone now. It is Brendan.
Brandon's muted.
Yeah. And he said from the get-go, no, it's not me.
I still hear it even when I'm muted.
Okay, well, when you muted yourself, you couldn't hear it anymore.
I don't hear it at the moment.
No. And now it's back.
So Chris, I know you said you just started listening to some records again, and I know you've been taking care of your dad. What have you been? What's been some of the key records you've been putting on lately?
Well, the one that I just started to dig into is a Christmas present from Steve. This is going to be a bit of a slog, I think.
Yes.
Oh.
This one I just started listening to. Alpha Box.
It's very classical, this one, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, it was. It was a great gift, but it's going to take me a little while to digest that. I really like this record. You know this record?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the booklet alone is incredible.
Tons of books, great stories, and pictures. Yeah,
Sounds of prehistoric Scandinavia.
that label is amazing, by the way.
No, I agree. I have plenty of them. I have a lot of Swedish records or Swedish releases. This is something.
Great.
I got Alex a double of this I found recently.
That's one of the top 3 Stockhausen records, in my opinion.
I got these for Scotty that I found.
I'm not looking. I want it to be a surprise, so I'm not looking.
This is just a record, but anyway, I'm sure this is a fun record. I've copies of it. Can't resist it for $1.
Nice.
What else do I have here? Yeah, I just got this, which I think Dom and Alex and them reads.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
$10 on this guy. $10.
Nice.
That's great.
But not for long, I think, because it's not a common record.
No, I was really, really surprised. I'm thinking of Jamie. Hey, Jamie, do you have this?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
On the MMC Arts Council label of Great Britain. This is amazing. If you like Don Cherry again, this is there's some little bit of fourth world vibe occasionally. But this is this is 1988. Harry Beckett.
Oh wow.
Mahola on bass. Maggie Nichols is on here. Really underrated record.
David DeFries, yeah.
Yeah, you would really. Like this.
Yeah. It sounds like it. I'll look it up.
In the UK, it's like $10.
Yeah. Brilliant.
That's a classic Chris Cole right there. Pick.
It is.
So this record, Jamie, the Trinidadian drummer, Chili Charles, Quickstep, Virgin. This is a $5 record. It's killer. Kind of a spacey fusion, jazz, funk, gospel, soul hybrid. Great drummer. Really, as a tribute to Miles on here, that's amazing. Like really spacey, funky stuff. Like $5 record on Discogs Media. It's a long time.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, a long time. That's like a long time favorite. Hey, Scott, Ed.
Oh yeah.
This is the first one is really tough, but
in fact, there's a record store in Edinburgh now that is in the same block as the studio where those records were recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are classics.
And then this one, Dom, you have this one, or you know this, Dom?
I do know it. Do not own it yet. Though.
Yeah, Mighty Baby doing like
Mhm.
kind of folk music or Eastern folk music, really kind of
Yes.
slightly psyche folk. Right now.
It looks
I
like
don't
it'd
know
be a
that
rare record, but it's not that rare. You can find it. I just haven't seen it recently.
How is it?
I
That's
like
cool
it a lot. Hey, Stunt, do you know this one?
Nope.
It's a prized possession, Great Hill. This was a huge tour because I wanted this forever. It's like I think only 500 of these were made. It's like an experimental private UK thing. Side 2 is like all kind of modern dance pieces, but he doesn't use any synthesizers, but the way he arranges and plays, you would swear that he does. He plays everything, guitars, flutes, violin, homemade drum machine, harmonica. The vocal tracks actually sound kind of like Roy Harper a little bit at times, but more experimental. But side 2 is, kind of there's a Cage-inspired piece, a great experimental record from the UK. Just impossible to find. I got really lucky.
Yeah, I see. That one just looked intriguing to me because I felt like it looked familiar, but it's not what I thought it was.
Yeah, it's the last time I saw one, it was like $300-400. This I got lucky years ago. That's just something. Some of these I played some of these recently too, so that's kind of some of the stuff I'm playing. And a lot of world music.
Awesome. Good awareness on those. That Greg Hill definitely feels like you could come across that, but I'm assuming you would have at some point. So I'm sure.
Yeah, there was like one of my great eBay stories, $10. Like nobody knew what it was. Like Stunty and me have talked before. We have a lot of I've been on eBay since the beginning, like Stunty too, and we used to get crazy stuff off eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Black Octopus, Jamie, for $4. Paul Jackson Jr. It was mislisted. I mean, Phil Collen records for $10.
You want a good eBay John Fahey story? The first John Fahey record on vinyl I got was on eBay in 1998, and I got it from the host of a motel where John Fahey used to live, and he basically paid her in records and in paintings to have her clean his car. And she told me that the car he had was filled with like moldy, rotten cheeseburgers, and that he was like, she liked him, but he was like the most difficult guest that she ever had. So she didn't want to keep the gifts or the art he gave her. So she was selling them on eBay, and she had no idea who he was.
Now, which record was it? Was it? You don't have the Private Press first album, do you? You don't have
No. It was the one actually that you guys talked about the other day with the Portland Cement Factory, which I believe is the fourth one.
Well, yeah, that's 4 would be. I think that's Blind Joe Death, is it not?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back then you were getting these for $10 on eBay, if even.
I've never seen his very first album. Is actually, even if you have the first pressing, which I have, it's actually not. The first pressing just says John Fahey, and there's only 500 of those, I believe. I've never seen it.
I've seen them in Den Bosch in VG minor condition, and they played great.
Yeah, I could see that. It's from 1959, I think.
Yeah.
It's this one.
Oh, by the way, Dom, did you notice something about John Fahey that you and I are even more at war? There's a recent addition to the John Fahey.
Oh, you saw it too, huh?
Yeah, of course I saw it.
I emailed that person right away, but they didn't respond to me. Yeah, so this is actually the reissue. If you didn't, it's a Coma reissue. The first version of this, I think it So maybe it doesn't say Blonde Joe Death on it, but it's a private pressing. And it's a completely. It's not on Tacoma. He made them up before Tacoma even started, which is on Discogs. But I've never seen it. I think there's only 500 of them, so it looks similar. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but
Yeah, I told you I saw that in Den Bosch.
right,
Yeah.
right. But the one you speak of is the early sessions, I believe. So yeah,
One more secret.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I got this on eBay from. I think was that you,
Wow.
Chris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Kind of a weird one because the guy's he used a pseudonym here, but he's just Richard Horowitz from Buffalo, New York.
So that looks like a metal record.
Yeah, I think you'd really like this, Dom. It's sort of a fourth world
Yeah,
kind of a record.
I am intrigued.
you love that.
Yeah, this was reissued a few years back, and
I got the reissue. Yeah, it's a superb reissue. The artwork, you still have the letters like that, the typing, but like you don't have the drawing, and it's quite different. That's one I have the reissue. I won the original of.
that was the one we were talking about earlier. The
Guitar there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, this one. Did you have this one, Dom? I think.
No, but this has come up before, right? We talked about this one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jamie, did you show that one too when you showed from Chandler?
I don't know if I have showed that one before, but I did manage to get a copy this year from All Night Flight in the UK. They always get a really kind of interesting mix of used and new records, and their curation's really, really strong.
Right, that's the label. Yeah, I've flirted with doing some orders with them, but I haven't yet.
Yeah, they've put out a few records themselves, and they've all been really great. I'm blanking on the name of one of them now that came out this year. I can picture the cover. It has a kind of like a photograph of a fire on a brown cardboard sleeve. And it was kind of improvised found sound field recording sort of thing that was done out in Chile or South America, which is really great.
Are you talking about the Mega Bass?
No.
Because they just released the Nina Harker one.
It was before that. It's on the tip of my tongue.
You guys keep talking. I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh, is it
Luis Guccio
Lopinto? Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, they put that out. That was another highlight of mine from this year, actually. That I really enjoyed that record.
How about Alex and something? You know this one? Jabir.
I think so.
It's from Spain. It's another one of those that blends electronics and Middle Eastern instrumentation. It's a one-man show. It's an obscure record. I got this off of Amazon actually for $9.99, I think. It's kind of a deal now. I mean, it goes for a lot more, but if you like that blend of Middle Eastern and electronics, like some of us do, like kind of like that Eros in Arabia, this is kind of similar to that. Yeah, it's very cool. From 86, I think. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I managed to get the record we talked about recently. That I asked you if you knew the LA Canadian percussion record. If you know what I mean.
Me? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I managed to get it.
Can you play some of it? On one of your streams?
I haven't got it
yet.
in, but yeah, that's a beauty. But this year, for me, this next year, my main objectives are Romania, Hungary, and Spain. That's where I'm getting records from.
Yeah, I got some nice things from Alex in a trade. Like these are specifically.
Oh, you got these?
Yeah, from Alex traded them to me. I mean, you'll know these.
You had them, Alex? Oh yeah, I remember we talked about it.
We had talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, but I decided to pass on them because I wasn't so sure about because it sounded like they were recorded extremely amateurishly, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the charm, I guess. But it is definitely kind of a document more than anything. Yeah.
Wait, tell us about these records. I'm unfamiliar.
It's privately recorded Nibzin records, like Hungarian folk music from the late 60s, I believe, these ones.
Yeah, or in the 70s, I think.
It's before when it gets really interesting to me, but it's the seeds of that, so it's very interesting. What was the guy? It's a guy in the guy who was selling these originally. I think he's in Slovakia or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
music shapes.
Music. Yeah. Big kind of a big. I don't know if he's from that area, but he seems to.
He's originally from there, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Or his family. He doesn't live there anymore, and I think there was a connection with his grandfather or uncle who was the one who recorded these.
Yeah, it's like like Alex said, it's more of a document, but it's pretty fascinating if you like that stuff.
We're probably 3 of the 10 people in the world who know what that is.
I don't even remember what I traded Alex for this. But it's something Alex liked, I think, or wanted, so it worked out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too now.
Yeah, I know.
I do a better job kind of keeping track of things that I send and that I receive because I lose track. But yeah, this along the ethno lines is one on Sublime Frequencies that came out this year.
Yeah,
It's a real highlight for me.
I didn't get that yet.
It is a beautiful record.
Really, really good. I don't know if you heard this one, Stunty, but it's really excellent.
So, Alex, did you get your Portal yet?
No, so so finally I have to check the tracking. But yeah, I got that record. From that what's the name of that the French auction site, Stunty, that you.
Dro.
Yeah.
Dro,
So
the French equivalent of Sotheby. It's like the biggest auction house in France. I used to live right by it in Paris.
yeah, so finally, I just ponied up the money to get it sent over because I think after a certain number of days, the auction house is going to start basically charging me on a daily basis just to hold the record.
I was supposed to help Alex out with a friend in Paris to go pick them up, but guess what? When you've left Paris for 11 years, a lot of your friends in Paris have left Paris as well.
Sure, yeah. It'd be like me trying to find somebody in Chicago to do certain things. I mean, obviously, even though Chris is there, but he's not. If you had to go into the city to go pick something up, I mean, it would
be a little bit much, yeah. Yeah, I have still friends there, but it would be like, could you please go and pick up something for me for a friend?
Right.
Well, you still got it for a good deal, though.
So yeah, I'll check the tracking right now, but and hopefully they package very well. I mean, I assume they will for what they charged, but mostly they deal with art. So
I wouldn't be anxious about it.
Yeah.
Question, Alex, from Michael.
Okay. I don't know. Is that a question?
I guess it was.
It's on the record. Yeah. I think it is, Michael.
I played the first piece. I don't remember what. Actually, let me check.
Here's an ethno heater. This everybody here would probably like this one. Borneo. Play it sound. This is a monster. It's another kind of French. He knows this label, I'm sure.
What
The
country?
label, yeah. This one,
Yeah, it plays sound in France. It looks sort of like a cheaper cousin of the Core.
Yeah.
It looks like the Gwimbri a little bit, Madagascar. But
Yeah,
So
I
it's
have a
good.
bunch of hot stuff from that region. But you see this thing is amazing.
Hmm.
You're into that.
Chris, did you catch this year the interview I did with the French composer Jean Schwartz?
Uh-huh. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because at one point he was the technician director at the Museum of the National Museum of Mankind, which had this series that was the competitor of Okora, and it was very interesting to hear. I don't remember how much we talked privately and how much was in the stream during the interview, but like it was quite enlightening to hear him talk about the different philosophies between Okora and his own series, because Okora apparently, for real, like the French intelligentsia of ethnomusicology, Okora was kind of like not cheesy but a little bit tacky. More about instant musical gratification rather than actually real ethnographic research. That basically he was saying that the people who went to do the recordings were sound technicians, but not necessarily people who understood what they were recording. So they were probably missing a lot of what was going on.
Well, that's interesting.
But in the end, it could also mean that maybe it's the people who have less of a real understanding, a technical understanding of what is going on, who only approach it from emotion, that have the best results. Which is
Right, and plus
difficult to do.
Duval's photography, right, which ties
Yeah.
the music with the visual,
hmm
and I mean I think that's a huge thing. I think that's why Okora is so collectible now, is because the photography is so strong too, right?
And the cloth bound.
Yeah, I don't have any
Yeah.
clock.
I had some people in the regular VC. They were showing me what was in the shops that were in, and I was telling them, "Yeah, get the Burundi one. It's there. Get the Burundi one all the time." And every single time they're either happy with it or at least like, "Yeah, that was interesting."
I keep looking for the Burundis. There's a seller in Sweden who keeps dropping the price, actually, Stunty, but I feel like
Come
I'll
on,
find it here.
they did like so many pressings of it. You can find it closer to you.
I want the early cover, though.
Come on, you sound like a baby right now.
I am.
Yeah, I wanted to. I had it, and someone borrowed it from me, and now I'm stuck with a black cover one, which is annoying.
No, I do like those early covers. The design on those is beautiful. That's
Guys, I'm probably going to take off just now because we had 5 hours on the road and we should probably eat something, go out and have some food. So I just wanted to jump on and say hi while I was in the same time zone for once.
yes.
Yeah, nice seeing you,
Thanks for
man.
joining up.
You too, guys. Yeah.
See you soon.
Have fun. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you next week, Alex. All right.
Take care.
Cool. Take care, guys.
Bye.
If anyone else wants to join, I'll throw that out there again.
You have the nice close bound with gold embossed, but you also have the ones that have only normal, which are pretty nice too.
Yeah, they're natural. Yeah.
Lovely.
I mostly see the later ones here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
these ones
I have.
I rarely see them outside of.
So Stunty, is there a good resource for all these, especially the European ethno labels, right? The French, the German, and the UK, right? I think those are the three main
You
countries
mean
that,
like
yeah, like a book that actually has, a more, comprehensive,
no?
look at all of those labels from the 1970s through the, 80s.
There's not anything comprehensive about that. The culture is too young, I think, because it needs people like us who are still like young and find something dynamic about it that is different from what interested the people in these records when they were released. I think we need to have like a postmodern love for these records, which we have obviously. Like looking, like for example, with the Burundi one, thinking of a parallel between it and maybe Tom Waits and stuff like that, which is something that would be very Philistine for the people 30 years ago who were into these records. I mean, when you look at the book that Johnny Trunk did on library soundtracks, the first edition, which is, I remember when it came, it felt really comprehensive. Thank you, Dylan. By the way, I don't just to give you the props. Dylan is one of the two persons that maybe he doesn't know it, but who made me start to do videos on YouTube about VC thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he
Yeah.
did a competition 4 years ago, I think, or so, about 4 years ago. And I've considered partaking, and I sent him a message to ask him about advice about how to do videos, and he responded to me. I ended up not doing it yet because it took a little more. And the second one, Alex knows, it's looking at the awkwardness of Davis. that convinced me I can do it.
And then I think you also responded to a European jazz thread early on, right? I think that was one of your first videos too.
That was my first video, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
okay. And that was
Remember that.
that was Jim. That was Sheriff's
Yeah.
friend, Jim.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He doesn't do videos that often.
Stunty, Alexandra Garland.
This one, how old is this one?
So this from 2012, at least the edition that I have.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's it's divided into different chapters, so it's not just ethnographic, but that's a good chunk of it. But also goes into, as you can see, there's some like like nature field recordings, but also a lot of experimental artists that use.
So you don't read French, but you got that book because you still got like you're interested in the index, I suppose.
Well, I would say at my level, because I studied French, through high school basically, and unfortunately I didn't really continue in college. But I would say that this is written at a fairly high level for me. So I mean, I'm, I don't know, maybe I understand.
But you still get a list of references. Like
yeah, but I mean, I could still understand, 30-40%, just depending on, on the particular thing. And if I know the record or the artist, obviously that helps.
This is a great publisher, by the way. They only do books about music. I'm a little bit ambivalent about it because I did the research for one book they released about hip hop. I helped the author, and I wanted to do a book for them at one point, and someone else did it instead of me, and I don't like the book at all because I know the guy. I used to have a band with the guy actually who did that book, the one about La Montaigne. It's Joseph Gosne, who's now and Gosne is. We could talk about that for a long time. He does noise music, and we had an improv noise trio together. And he has a label called Scum Your Earth, but he's I mean, he's a big fan of Sun Ra, of Spaceman 3, and La Montaillon. So obviously we have a lot in common, but at the same time, I realized that it was quite surface in a way, because like he was name checking records in that book that he doesn't have and has not heard. So maybe it's good, but I wouldn't do it that way. For example, the Giuseppe Morocchi records I got this year on Lynx. Oh my god, these ones were. Let me show them again.
Show him. Yeah, Bokora, of course, classic.
Yeah, the first one is from 1907. In the he did one every 10 years, basically. The second one is absolutely the best. It's a home handmade cover.
Oh, yeah. I remember when you show this. It sounds amazing. Yeah,
It's absolutely amazing, and yeah, it's signed. They only did 100 copies of it, and the third one, also handmade cover, more difficult, better than the first one, not as good as the second one, and also only 100 copies of it, I think. And these are like really interesting, very unique take on minimalism, La Montaillon's branch of minimalism. And he name-checked this in the book, but I soon realized, talking with him and all that he has never heard them. And I understand why. They're mighty difficult to get. And just the fact that he was aware of them is already interesting. But how was he aware of them if he had not listened to them? It's a little bit strange to me.
Oh, well, it looks like Keith has that first one up for sale right now.
Okay. The first one? This one, you mean?
Yeah, that one. Yep.
This one is... You will be disappointed by it. I think I haven't even played it.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's more... For me, it's interesting to have as a historical piece, but it's more like naive modern classical music. And the pressing is... I'm keeping it until I accept that I don't like it. But yeah, how much is he selling it for?
125 or something.
Yeah, you should not pay more than $80 for it. But this one, you should pay $5 for.
Yeah, I've been looking for that one, but it does not turn up.
Hey, Sean. So, Stunty, you're going to do 2021 favorites of the year or what?
Finally. But the problem is that this week I found a 2021 record that is pretty good that I didn't know of yet.
No, it's disqualified. You're 2 years late. Sorry.
What do you mean 2 years late? That's the right amount of time, isn't it?
No, I mean the calendar turns and you got to move on to the next year.
So now you're setting the rules.
You know I follow rules. Come on.
Hey Dom.
Yeah.
72 records.
My favorite finds of the year for you in tribute. There's a record I've been looking for a long time. Joan Wildman Trio, orphan folk music. She's a late musician, female musician from Madison, Wisconsin. It's quite a unique record.
Someone has hyped it in the VC recently.
Oh, really?
You don't know who it is, but it's Marius Stark.
Oh, did he?
I don't know who that is. So
Marius Stark is a very interesting character, very polarizing character, but he made a whole feature about that record, and that was, for some reason, that was his grail, his number one grail, and he got it this year. And he made a video about the whole story of her, and it's pretty interesting. Like she was like
because I know someone who knew her, because I know people in some academic folks, and Madison, Wisconsin, which is a great town to dig if you're ever in Madison, or it used to be. But yeah,
that's where this came from
yeah,
Madison.
yeah. Well, I got it at the shop. It came in a collection, and I told Steve, "Yeah, I want that," and he couldn't find it for like a couple years. And then lo and behold, this past year, I was cleaning parts of the shop. And I'm like, "Hey, here's my Joan Wildman record." So I took it home, and yeah, it's tough to find. She uses DX7, which usually I'm not a fan of, but in a very creative way. But it's all online, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a unique record for what it is. So really, really happy to find one because it's kind of expensive.
It's expensive, and the music is a tad stubborn in a way. It's like you want to love it, and obviously you do. I was like, after listening to it thoroughly, this is interesting, but it's also more interesting that it's kind of it's not completely satisfying for me. There's something a little bit like it's missing something. It's really cool and interesting, but I mean, it goes also with what she was doing. She was seeking things. Doesn't mean that she actually found them, but and so that's always interesting, and it's always worth confronting yourself at least once to these records. And
that was a really nice find. Every so often, stuff like that will come into the shop. Just like I got a couple 2 Joe McPhee records for Brandon that that he wants, and every so often some random stuff like that will come in. It's kind of most of the time is that Dom knows. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff me and Dom would like, the odds of it coming into Angry Mom or Record Wonderland are less than say like, hey, we got a clean copy of Boston, put it with the other 100 we had,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, I it's funny. I thought of you today, Sonny, because a DJ collection came in and it was mostly crap, but occasionally there was some good 12s in there from around 87, 86. Not crazy stuff you would like necessarily, but I thought of you because it was like, house and some Chicago house. And
I don't even bother sending you, any of you, like lists of the about 20 Chicago records I'm after, because it would be too much work, since there's no covers. It's just the label, and the label is one color and some writing on it. So if you're not investing in the music, I don't expect anyone to remember what it is. But it would be nice. But
you do get discarded here quite a bit. You see those come in, just people just dumping them essentially, and usually it's shit. But
yeah, a lot of this was.
You do see them quite a bit.
I mean, I'm 20 records away from having, in my opinion, the best possible, the greatest Chicago house collection between 86 and 93, which is what I'm mostly interested in. But Sean, Vinyl Dreamscapes, even if Detroit, he knows quite some of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some more records. Stunty, I enjoyed this a lot. I was coming back to this.
Yeah.
This was quite good.
First track on one side of it, I don't remember. I think it's the first side. Is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun story as well. Do you remember?
What was it now? Say again.
So I was playing the record during my stream.
Yes, he came on. Yeah.
And no, it was like 6 people bought it instantly off the Bandcamp page. So much that the guy from the label who did only 200 of this asked one of the people, like, by any chance, do you know why I just got orders from this? And I told him, like, oh, this guy's stunting.
I had contacted you because the person, the same guy, emailed me the next day, like, hey, where did you find this? And I was telling you, and you're like, well, he actually came on the stream later after you left, which was kind of funny for the beauty of this world, sort of like happening in such a small world, really. It all happening so quickly. I got to get a couple of records.
About house and techno, the Paris was a pretty good city for that, because Paris is a really a good a historical place for that music. Not necessarily the music that was produced, but in receiving it and embracing it. So there are shops that go to Chicago to buy records, but there is also a deep appreciation for it and all the new stuff. Paris is not great to find secondhand records, but for the new stuff, Paris is pretty good. Like, if you want, there are shops in Paris that are better than any shops in London or Berlin, new house and techno, for the sole reason that they have numbers. The good shops in London, the good stuff, if you're not there during the first 3, 4, 5 days of the release, then it's over. It's too late. They don't take enough copies. In Paris, there are enough shops that actually care enough so that they take more copies than they should, in a way. So for me, it was like, Paris is the kind of city where you go twice a week to the DJ record store. It's worth it.
Oh, I was going through some other things. I've been enjoying this one. This one I
Oh,
found at
not
FMU. This is so cheap.
Yeah,
Not
yeah. All these records are great.
Yep.
This is the Japo. I think this is actually a reissue technically.
No. This is the original, I think.
Yeah, I think that one is.
I thought this was the reissue. In any case, there's two. It's from the same year, I believe. Yeah, this is something I think no one. I don't know. No one seemed to really catch on to these.
Oh, come
Very
on.
cool. It's certainly in the post-bop mold for anyone who needs a little more post-bop in their life. But I think Otik. It's Otik in the US, right?
Yeah.
This is the German. This is the Japo German. This was at the first shop me and Brandon went to on the way down to the record fair. Hudson Valley Vinyl. Cheap one.
I think that makes sense. I know Chris did that stuff.
Yep. This one, I think you guys know this. Has this been discussed at some point?
I have that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I showed that a while back.
I must have. This is the one I can't remember
Yeah.
It's a crazy one.
where I got turned on to it. So Chris, of course. Oh,
You know this one, on Otik, as you said.
I don't
That's
have
right.
this one. I have a different Naughton. I don't have that one. I haven't seen that
I
one.
used to see those knots all the time.
This one you can still find pretty easily, I would say.
I have the one with the script where it's Naughton and script.
All right.
Yeah. Noxogram.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Michael with the facts.
Yeah, Michael would know all about it.
This was fantastic. This I
This is a great record, yeah.
I pulled down from. I added to another order.
It's interesting because that's on like Transatlantic, which is not known for
Yeah,
that kind of
records,
stuff. It is. Yeah, that's Guy. I love that record.
Mm-hmm. There he is, Suster.
I didn't know
This is
you had that. That's cool.
I just got it a couple weeks back now.
I have it,
Yeah.
but I don't have it. I've had it for like 5 or 6 years at my friend in Miami, who I'm waiting to find a way to get my records from.
This infamous
Talking
Miami
about
collection.
yeah, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be a crazy haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see
You
it.
like this record, Stumpy? Yeah,
Although
well, it's got
Make a
Did
big
Mix on
choice.
the drums. That's why. This is fantastic. David Friedman features Past.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Dead Mist, Ramon Francis, Harbor Forks, Haverbowl. This is a great cheap record. I just thought of you because I know you love Dead Mist.
Yeah, I was pulling a bunch of. I think this one is my favorite of his,
Let's see.
but he's got Bruce Dittmas on drums, so it's
Yeah,
bound.
I had mine's the Inner City pressing of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big record.
And,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, the one with the best cover is not the best one, but this one has amazing cover.
Yeah, like Friedman, actually.
Yeah. This one is fantastic as well.
That's underrated. Yeah, it's a nice one. It's like a dollar binner too, kind of, or cheap.
This one is all right. Not the best, but it's got a
Yeah,
good.
I've heard that one.
And there's a lot of records where he's not the leader, but he is the leader when you listen to the record. You see, he has a very strong personality as a musician. So even if he's only a sideman, often the record featuring him, I would consider them David Friedman records. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, sure. I like his playing a lot, actually. Well, I know you like Tom Vandergold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those records.
It's funny because when I got into jazz, instantly I vibed for vibe, and it was only years before I heard and realized that generally vibe jazz records were considered as like and I didn't get it because that's how I got into jazz, through Ken Jamal and stuff like that. That was my entry point.
Bobby Hutcherson.
Yeah. Bobby Hutcherson on Out to Lunch was like a very important moment in my Which one is that?
Larry Blackshire Trio Strategy, his only record. It's like a small label out of Germany. I think it's called Dust Up. It's a combination of like kind of jazz meets 20th century. There's actually a cover of there's a Lou Harrison piece on here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is like right in that zone between kind of avant jazz and modern classical. It's a Vibes Trio record. His only record. It's very obscure. It's on. I'll send you a link. It's on YouTube. You might like it, but I just thought of it because it's like an unusual Vibes record.
Tony, I was listening to this earlier today.
Oh, I listened. That's the last record I listened to a month and a half ago. Before they went to shit.
Do you guys know this record?
What do you have?
Yeah, I had it. I sold it though. We have it at the shop if anyone wants a copy of it.
It's good. It's not fantastic, but it's really good.
Do you like Barfield's solo guitar record? I forgot the name of it. It's Transcendental Space Window. That's what it's called.
We're showing too many records now.
Yeah, I really like that label, Sound Aspects, German.
Yeah,
it's a great label.
Yeah, I wonder if Dylan is still here. If I know he's open-minded, and that's what I like about him. But sometimes, I remember, I think it was early at the beginning of the year, in January or so. Dylan from Noble Records, he was showcasing that he had found he was apparently stepping into the library soundtrack rabbit hole, but I haven't heard him or seen him talk much about it.
Big rabbit hole to go down. Library records.
Maybe he hit early the ceiling of okay, the good ones Great. Yeah, no. It's funny enough. Like in my last week and the week before, I showed and played 2 Ennio Morricone library soundtracks that were surprisingly still affordable, but they are as rare as the crazy ones. But for some reason, he kind of falls between the cracks in a way. Like I think I might have sealed that open door now. Yeah, I was surprised that you could still find these for $30, 20, 30, $40.
Did I ever tell you guys my library find story at Half Price Books?
I don't think so.
It's a crazy story.
Fred.
So I went in like I normally go to Half Price Books to dig or whatever. Like off to the side, there's like a crate about, I would say like 5 feet long, like off to the side. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It was all the Woofs, Bruton. They're all $1. And a lot of them were the ones with the brakes and all this stuff. And I just walked up to the counter like, boom, there you go. And I ended up trading them, selling them for stuff I wanted. But it was like the one stunty with the French drummer, Andre Cicerelli.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on there. That big break record. It was crazy. Like it was someone just dumped an entire. It was just crazy. I couldn't even take all of them because it was just too much.
Were they all curated, like organized, or was it just random?
Yeah, it was like it surprisingly was. It was crazy. I was totally like even the Half Price Books people were like, "What the fuck is that shit?" I'm like, "Hey man, you know,
Nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah,
there's a Parisian record dealer who I used to be friends with, who is basically the guy who sold most. He was the source for Madlib for French stuff and libraries. So every time Madlib was going to Europe, he would go to this guy, Victor Kiswell.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know Victor. I know him a little bit. I don't know him.
And so Victor's origin story was he was working at a shop called Chez Yuri in the center of Paris. And he got hold of a crazy library soundtrack, Italian libraries collection. But he was too young and not knowledgeable enough. And some other dealer who I also used to do stuff with, EUK, who doesn't deal records anymore. He does music now. He was kind of the guy in Paris for avant-garde and stuff like that. And he has a certain flair and all that. And the guy knew about all these records, and Victor thought like, yeah, these records are rare, but he had no understanding of it. So he traded them all for like hip hop records that you can still find nowadays for cheap. And we're talking about like 350 Italian library soundtracks and the good stuff.
Yeah, no, I know that stuff's great.
So his origin story is kind of his biggest fail in a way. Yeah.
Looks like
Also,
Albert Burns, that stuff. It's down price anymore.
Yeah,
I
I
was
just got
playing
this.
this today. Oh, you go ahead, Alex.
Sorry.
That's
Adams.
that's a good record.
Yeah, I got it locally for like $20. I think I've had one of his other ones. I didn't like as much. This is good though. I like that one. And then Stunty, I think I was playing this one. I forget when you recommended this, maybe on a stream or something. You have an obscure one.
Oh yeah. Nice little record. There's one track that is amazing. The rest is okay, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's pretty noisy. It's got some damage, so I did find another copy. And this one I got a few months back.
That's a record I've been on the fence for years. Like I was actively seeking it, but not really because it's like a $40 record, and you can find it. And every time I listen to it, I'm like, it's interesting, but is it really exciting?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I know what you mean. I think it's it's definitely a true like ambient record, but it is a little bit one note in a way.
Yeah, it's that, and it's kind of, it's not a Moog record, but it's kind of like a Moog record in a way.
Yeah, I can see it in someone's.
I don't know what synths he's using on it. Let's see. It doesn't say.
The Morehouse?
Yeah, I think it's all okay. It's the ARP 2600.
I like it, but it's like a mood record. You gotta be for it.
I would
Sounds like a
like
good
in a
note.
similar category. There's this record, but which is better, I think.
Oh yeah,
That's a local favorite here.
Yeah, but
And-
Don, you probably see that a lot.
Quite a bit.
At one point, I think it was considered. It was quite historical, but I think it's considered as the first electronic music group, like that. It's a band.
I'm not sure
But
about
I don't
that.
know
That
if
goes,
it's
that's
true,
like
but
72 or 3, I think. It goes back.
Yeah, 73 it was released. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still around. He still lives here. He did a performance at Cornell a few years ago that like no one showed up to. It was kind of amazing. Amazing in a sense. What he did was great, but like, even here where he's sort of like a local legend, didn't get much of a turnout. But it was cool. It was in a church, an old church, and he set up and he did like an interview and everything. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, Shaker Loops is probably his best piece, Mike. I have these other John Adams records, and I agree with Alex. They have contributed a lot to my disdain for John Adams.
I was just showing this. I replayed this today. I don't know if you guys know this one.
Martin Peterson, yeah.
Fascinating that he got David Amram to work with him here, which I didn't catch on to initially. But I mean, this is like I'd like to know the story of him hooking up with him, because that was like a in-demand composer. But this one it's kind of a mess in a wonderful way. I think it's quite special. Don't know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I liked it when we did it. That was great.
Yeah, I think there is a reissue of it, but it's pretty new to me. Recent discovery. I'm really glad.
If you see the Amaran record, Two Walls by Amaran, grab that. It's called Two Walls that he did. It's on Flying Fish. Or RC.
The one I always see is
That's a
Subway
great
Man.
record.
Flying
Okay.
Fish is an interesting label. Yeah.
What's it
It's a
called?
large
Two Walls, Chris?
Yeah, it's good. It's like World Fusion.
Okay, I'll check that.
Here's a local ambient legend or electronic legend. Bill Vermette. Coppa Visions, self-release from 1984, Forest Park, Illinois. It's
What's the name?
Bill Vermette, Kappa Visions from 1984.
Can you write it to me later?
Yeah. Anything I don't. You may like it, and I don't know if Alex knows it or Dom, but you guys might like it. I mean, it's sort of like maybe like Matthew Young a little bit, like Bickering Dreams, possibly. There might be even Tangerine Dreamish. So
No, because the year and the aesthetic of the cover looked more like stuff like it reminded me of stuff like Christopher He-Man, like HAS and stuff like that. But like the way you describe this,
sure, but
the way you describe the music might be different. But because that's really like the HNAS and Organum and Ultra, all that is really, really my wheelhouse. So when I see that record I have, yeah. You know this, Dom?
Another you'd like it. It's electronic music, kind of a class. It's a kind of a Creole Cone classic. It's not that expensive. He's from Chicago. It's like it's pretty good. It's like 69 maybe. I might say like you might like it. You're pretty old with a lot of different things, so
yeah.
the liner notes in that record, if I remember correctly, like he was like a true outsider, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Take a look.
He looks
Yeah,
nerd, but like, if I remember correctly, yeah. Oh no, I'm mixing up. No, he studied music.
yeah, he studied with Ashley and Muma. So yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But it's like, I told Dom it's a Creole poem.
Is it?
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's Krill.
yeah.
Yeah, he is a Chicago
Man,
guy.
for me, the whole Krillpon thing is so confusing. I used to sell records to. There's at least 4 releases, no, at least 3 releases on Krillpon that I know I'm the source for. Like the two Victor Knudsen, the water records. These I sold to Keith like in 1999, something like that. And some other. Oh, bye, Alex.
Alex is gone.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Krillpon is Keith Fullerton Whitman, who used to do IDM under the name Hrvatsky, and who had his own label, which is my greatest pride in life, that I remember how to say it. The name of the label is Rekonkreuzungswerkskomplex.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And
he was fair.
and he did a bunch of records for Cranky that were like modular synthesis, and he went full into that direction and started this fake label that was supposed to be from Iceland by some guy who doesn't exist, where he's just basically bootlegging and making facsimile CD size covers of out there or like experimental electronic music records. And
In New York, he had a whole box full of all the CDs, and he was like,
Oh.
he was like, "Oh, I'll give you a few to take," and I just forgot to take them. So,
but I don't think you need to take them because I think he puts everything on YouTube.
yeah, but I do like having CDs if I can. So it would have been
What?
nice. Yeah. Sure.
Hey, Dom, did you put this on your rumination list of the records I've shown to you? Did I ever show you this one?
I think I couldn't keep up. I made
Okay.
a big list of all your records. I may have.
Yeah, Patrick McMahon Darshan, you'd really like this.
Mm.
It's kind of in the middle zone of like New Age and Psych. Like, yeah, he distributed through some New Age bookshop in Cincinnati. Like
sounds
real
like my kind of
Germany.
bookshop.
Yeah, you would really like that. And of course, Annabelle McBride, who made her own records, kind of Hawaiian. So, yeah, this is really lovely. She painted her own covers. She
Beautiful.
died sadly of cancer, but there's a very unique style. These are beautiful. I only have this one of hers. She's like 7 or 8, but this is the Island of Kings. It's really, you know who it's sort of like a female Bobby Brown, kind of. If you know, not
Yes. No,
little
I know. The other Bobby.
the other Bobby Brown. Yeah, but I think that would be up your alley.
Well, Patrick McMahon does not look like an easy one to track down, unfortunately.
Oh, I think you would really like that because you like you like certain New Age things, and you love
Yes.
Psych if it's done right. So, yeah,
I'm interested to see that this label, Group Effort Records, has got an interesting roster. There's even a Boss Tones that I didn't know about.
yeah,
Is it-
it is, and I think it's an interesting. I got that record in Cincinnati when I was digging in Cincinnati years ago. Back when you could find such things for
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things to do, is just go on road trips and go to college towns and dig with buddies. I miss that. It's been a long time.
Mm.
What do you guys think of this album?
Then he's like,
Oh, of course, I like that. I love that record.
I've seen it. I've never checked it out though. Hmm.
I'm ambivalent about it. I like it, and sometimes I'm like, this is too much.
You have the one, you have Synergy Stunty, the other one that's similar to that he did on 1750 Arch. Same group, same people.
No, I don't.
It's
Because-
similar to that.
Yeah, I don't because I'm not. I'm
I'm ambivalent about that.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't expect you to be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever.
But it's cool. It's a cool record. The cover is amazing.
Yeah,
Like-
that finish there. Yeah.
But it's not that rare of a record. I think you see it, or it's like
You're not
Listen-
surprised that I like it a lot. After hearing it, you're probably like, no. Nope. I call it fusion-y, or it's like, it's fusion sort of, but it's kind of very free form in a way.
and there's some great electronics in it.
Yeah, Seidlin was an open-minded guy. I mean, he started off being sort of a Bill Evans inspired guy, and then he all of a sudden, you ever hear those? Anybody's familiar with those demo records that they were called like drums, keyboards, that where the artists talk and then they demonstrate their music?
Yeah.
Zeitlin cut on the keyboard one is insane because he demonstrates all the pedals like at once. He just starts playing the Rhodes, and then he puts it through like an Echoplex, and it gets really crazy, and they jam, and it's really cool. But I like stuff like that with effect pedals and stuff like that. I like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, Dom, did you get the Bruce Dietmar records?
I have Yellow.
That's
all
the
I have.
best. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think the other one is even better.
With his face on the cover. I'm gonna get it
Yeah.
at some point. It's not very expensive actually. I'll track it down.
Ray Dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you liked Yellow Stunty more.
Yellow, I think, is probably
Maybe somebody saying you like
Yellow is a more cohesive album, and that's how I discovered it. I like also that it's called Yellow and it's on Red record.
Red cover.
I think that Eridus has tracks that are even more catchy. Like they have the craziness of Yellow, but also
Rava.
like, yeah, well, Rava is on both. But
How do you feel? Did you like Enrico Rava? I personally like Rava. He's playing.
of his records. I have the Calarapusha, there's the Enrico Rava album with the silver cover on ECM, which also features Bruce Dietmar.
Okay.
That has an amazing track.
I wasn't sure, but I figured you might like. You have any Rava them?
I'm just checking. No, I don't. I have
You
something
know-
with him on it.
No, I see his stuff.
We are in the segment of Dom's own stream that is called "I Can't Keep Up." He said it once. I enjoyed that when he was saying he can't keep up with you. I want to hear that more now.
No. Well, that should be obvious. I'm at my own pace. I'm going my own pace.
No,
Okay,
but
I'll get to it when I get to it.
you go much faster than us with Modest Mouse. So that's
Just let me know when you need a tutorial, okay?
yeah.
With that, I'm going to probably say it's about time. 3 hours.
Yeah,
Stunty, 6 a.m. for you, probably.
exactly. I'm just I have planned to not do anything festive for today. Now, for the New Year's Eve, I'll just cook myself some good food and be listening to audio clips on YouTube of music I'm still discovering. And oh yeah, I haven't shown you.
How's your shelves looking? Yeah.
Yeah, see, new.
Wow, you did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, much better.
What are they made from?
Metal.
Oh,
I welded.
Reliable.
I did them. Did some welding.
Now, how many records were damaged? You said a few hundred. Is that what's the
Yeah, a
final
couple of
count?
hundred records were unfortunately crushed, and like it was like a shit show.
Mm.
Well,
So-
out of the 20,000 you have,
No, I 12,000, but this is where all my avant-garde experimental electronic stuff is, and
oh, okay.
I got like
So-
one of my Chilean records that like the whole cover is destroyed and the record.
Now, how many of those are you going to actively try to replace?
Most of them.
Yeah.
And a few I know will be. It's a lost cause, but who knows?
You need to share the list like Sonic Youth did when all their gear was stolen. They shared the list with the masses, and people sought out stuff and looked for things. And
You know, I've made a list on Discogs called "If You Want to Treat Me," that every year I give my family to help them, and they
They-
never use it
they,
a single time. So even if my family can't do anything, I have very little hope in the
well,
world.
who's more reliable, your family or Chris Cole?
Well, we'll see. But the thing is that there's nothing about being reliable. It's basically a list of records on Discogs where you can see, oh, this record is for sale, and it's all ranges. It's a list where I put basically records that are worth like $10 up to $300. So, like, there's a lot to. It's specifically made for people who want to treat me, and that can't go wrong.
I believe that Han, what is it? The Han Ot is on there. That on Earth, Han Zot is on that list. Yeah. Unfortunately, Dom Stunty's list has a lot of records on it. I would like that too.
I think you've shared that list with me
It's
before.
funny you named that because that's probably one of the top 3 records I've been looking for the longest.
Man, I fail. I wish I didn't fail you on your biggest one. I tried like hell to get that. I tried to make deals for it and hounded the guy for you, and I couldn't get it done, man.
That's the secret record, right? That should not be named.
Well, I've named it before, but I still have hope. Maybe you'll find a way to sway him. Yeah.
I would have offered like my own stuff from my own collection for it, but I tried. Everybody that has it wants it to keep it, except the dude that me and you know about that. He had a handshake deal, and he kind of flaked out on it.
Yeah, but your friend who has it. Just ask every once in a while because maybe like repetition will. Yeah, the other guy, I think the guy who bailed on me. I don't know how to because he hasn't posted anything on Instagram since that.
It's weird because I've sold stuff. We've sold stuff from the shop to him, and I've dealt with him before, and he was always really cool and timely. So I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, there's two options. Either he kept it for himself, or he sold it for more money. But and the thing is that because I sold records that I would have kept otherwise in order to be able to afford it, and I told him that, not as a pressure, just like because we were having very nice chats, and that's not weird to say that. Of course,
he bought one of the Michael Cosmics from us, which is what the record goes for.
Yeah,
Pete's World. Yeah, so I know he has means.
Yeah.
By the way, we have no more Michael Cosmics. Steve sold his own personal copy. In 6 of them, which is unbelievable.
I actually moved them all. Wow.
Yeah. Well, you guys know how much that you could guess what that goes for. That would be my entire yearly record budget like for what that goes for.
Actually, no, I have a good question for Dom. Would there be one record that you would trade, that you're getting it and you're getting 0 other old record? You're still allowed to get new releases, but you're not allowed to get a single other vintage record. Would there be
like-
such a record that you would be okay with? Like
For like,
losing
for
a
a
year
year?
of digging for?
yeah, probably. Probably.
Geez, the Harold Budd is damn near worth losing a year of digging.
I mean, that should have ended my year. It didn't by far, but yeah, I would say so. You want me to name that record?
I don't want to, but it would be. I don't require to, but
I don't have that record in my mind. Like, I would say if it came up and I saw it and it was the right thing, yeah, absolutely I would. But what am I doing? I'm like this is like like a deal with the devil. I can't buy.
that's a
anything
good
else
question, because I think like we can all ask ourselves that, like, because the three of us, we thrive in the ongoing influx of new stuff. Like, but is there really one thing? We all have like a few records that we have, like, we kind of know there's no hope.
Well, it would do me a favor, really. So it would get me to focus and sort of just play the things I have and enjoy what I have, and then also get that.
Yeah, now we're rationalizing it in the positives, ripple effects of that. But
I mean, yeah, I would. Yeah, the answer is yes. I mean, that Fahey record I mentioned earlier, the first Private Press, would be one. He's obviously very important to me, so one that I know I would never see again. You know.
Yeah.
you wouldn't give a year of your life for Brenda.
Probably, just as I've been looking for it since it came out 12 years ago. So.
Steve at the shop is a big Fahey guy, so like I'll keep. I mean, I know the Fahey you're looking for is tough, but I'll keep my eye out.
Yeah.
Well,
You never know.
I'm here too. We're both the.
Yeah, there's
You wanted to. Yeah.
there's a unique
I got
release
to rate
that,
down a little higher on the Fahey scale, to be honest.
there's a
Oh,
unique,
Just a little bit.
you have so many scales, Stunty. Let me have this one.
Yeah.
well, you got this year. You bet you have in the records you showed today. There's like at least 2 that like you made me like. Ugh. One, you know.
You want to trade?
No, I mean, the Harold Budd one is in my top 10.
Yeah, that's insane.
Well-
It's awesome.
But
Yeah,
there's
you had
another
that-
one you picked up this year that is very high on my list that you would maybe not suspect, that you showed today.
Modest moves.
He just hasn't gotten it yet. It's coming. It's coming.
Can you guess the other one that you showed today that is pretty high on my list?
You haven't mentioned it before?
Nope. I guess a few people would be surprised by it, but like when you showed it, you've showed it before. Like you got it. It's not today. This month you got it, but when you got it, I was like, damn.
Well, I would think it would be the J.R. Mitchell because it's on Dogtown.
Nope, I have that.
Okay.
I think I'm the one who entered it on Discogs.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I won't play the guessing game. I'll say. Well, I'll try one more guess at you. Yeah, it's nothing that actually jumps out at me that would be.
We've
obvious
never
for you.
talked about this band,
Hmm.
but
Well,
I've
I
been
wish-
offered this one specifically for a long time.
96 Tears, Michael. I don't know. Tell me.
Well, let's put it that way. It's very close to another Grail that we both got to this year. Now you know which one.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
The Look Blue?
Yeah.
Right. I see. You did mention that once to me when I think you briefly made reference to that. At some point, anyway. No, Russell, he's already got it. He tracked that one down before me.
But your copy is mighty. The cover is super clean.
Does yours play with any distortion or
No,
anything?
no, mine plays very good.
I have to clean it again because there was some scratchy, some clickiness, but it looks beautiful.
But your cover looks super clean, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. The seller just, he was not experienced in selling and was really sort of looking to me to. I mean, he really gave me a great deal and then shipped it for very little.
Yeah, but you
Shipped
still paid like real money for it, right?
No, I did, but he basically gave me a discount on the other record, the Bats record, and then he shipped it as if he was shipping it to Australia. So he gave me like a domestic shipping charge, which was cool. So
Nice.
not bad. And considering I haven't seen it come up.
Oh, Russell, you got it.
Oh, you got one too, Russell. Oh, Bewitched. I don't have Bewitched. This is no, it is Bewitched. It's the other one I'm missing. Sorry.
I don't need the other ones. I mean, I can. There's a compilation with the one we're talking about, but it's like 4 LP. I don't need a 4 LP for only 3 songs I like. I think it's a 4-song EP. There's 3 that I really, really like. I guess it's not anything that Chris would even register.
I don't think so. Unless how into Flying Nun are you, Chris?
The only thing I think on my list is Flying Nun is the percussion ones. I'm spacing on the name, but
Rimba or no Scratch Orchestra.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have one. I don't know where I put that record now. Anyway, it's not a good.
Yeah,
song.
I'll look for anything for any of my friends. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. I see stuff. I see all kinds of stuff all the time.
I still think. I mean, tracking down these Phil Yosts have been just very much a treasure for me.
I never
The
see
first
them
thing,
either. I would never see Phil Yost records in person.
The funny thing about this one is I got the other one, the Fog Horns, which is also on Tacoma, and I got it like 25 years ago on eBay for $5.
That
And the
makes
only
sense.
reason I got it was because it was on Tacoma, because I'm obsessed with John Fahey, and I was just trying it out. And then I learned that, okay, he did other records, and I sought them out only because the one I have is brilliant. But because I paid $5 for it, like I'm like, this Phil Yost one, like I've seen it online a few times for like, yeah, that's the one. The one you showed, I've seen it for about $120 regularly for the longest time. But because I paid $5 for the other one that is as rare, I think, then psychologically it's a bit difficult. And I think I listened to it online and I don't like it as much as the other one, but I still like it. I would get it.
Yeah, it's good. And then the other one that he did that's not in Tacoma is also fantastic, which has been bootlegged. It's Northern Great. I'm forgetting the title.
Yeah, there's I saw that. Yeah.
They're all really great.
Both have got bootlegs, right?
I don't know. I don't think the Tacoma ones have been bootlegged, at least on record. At least for.
I think so.
It's just as far as I've seen, it's the third one, Northwood Dream. I think it is. It could be. I could be wrong. I don't know what the story is. Why those haven't been reissued or anything, but.
Russell, GPSE. I got the box set of Jean-Paul Sartre Experience, which is GPSE. The problem I have with GPSE is that my favorite records of theirs is the brief EP that only came out on CD, which I think is one of the best shoegaze records ever. And on the 3 LP compilation, there's 2 songs from that EP, but not the best ones. And then they re-recorded all these songs for the album version of it that also only came out on CD, I think. Maybe I think it got reshoot later on vinyl, but they re-recorded them and they completely lost the magic. That happens.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound good, but it's the best we got. And I got a fucking box set for 2 songs.
All right. Well, we hit it. 3:15. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for hanging, Chris. Great to see you.
Yeah, it's a good distraction for me.
I bet.
Yeah. I'll just tell you guys a funny thing. I forgot about tomorrow, New Year's Eve. Tomorrow I'll be virtually record shopping in Romania. I have
Are
a
you doing
guy,
that?
yeah, a guy through the OBC in Romania who is going to meet a collector tomorrow evening out of all days, and I'll be on the phone with him.
Is this that service like the Michael talked about in Japan?
No.
Is this something else?
No, it's just like a real thing.
Like DIY version of that?
Yeah.
Well,
That
good
thing,
luck.
Michael, the guy who does that, I know him. He's been contacting me for years, and I don't think this is a good. I don't think it is for us.
It's interesting, though. Interesting, I have to say. But I can't imagine giving my faith and just letting someone shop for me. It's not really the.
It's
I don't really have
just
an interest.
too clunky, the mechanics of it. So it's not a satisfying digging experience, and so it's frustrating. And in the end, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I do like Dom did like kind of a small scale version for Dave when they went to FMU, where he looked for records for Dave. It's,
Yeah.
You know, and I do that too. Like if someone says like, "Hey, can you look for this for me or whatever?" and I see it, sure, you know, but not like, you know. But you guys would trust me to look for something for you guys. I would know, and yeah, it's not. You know.
The Den Bosch from last year I went to. That's where I found my second copy of Deep Jazz that ended up at Dom's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that Den Bosch video you made was insane. That table, like that table was, I would have been broke immediately. Like I would have been like, I'm done. I tapped out.
Yeah,
Just
but the thing is that it was the very last one I visited. It was closing down. We had to, like, they were, you know, like no time for negotiating. Like that's the table you would have needed 2 days of like bargaining. And
well, I knew it was serious when you were saying. I mean, when you were talking about it, because I knew a lot of those records you had some of those, but some you were even like, wow, this is near mint. This is like, yeah. So I knew it was the real. And you told me the guy, he just does Den Bosch, and that's all he does.
Yeah, exactly. And you know how it is when you know you have great stuff, but you know what it took to get there, and suddenly you see a shop or a seller that has like numbers of these.
Yeah.
That like all these years could have been reduced to one shopping experience.
Yeah, right.
Which it is mesmerizing in a way. It doesn't mean that it would be good to trade that, but it is. It's kind of like seeing a sum up of of a long time of your life.
The one time I did FMU in around 2005, like I told Dom or alluded to it before, like I spent several grand without even trying. Like it wasn't even. I'm like, I bought a bunch of Strata East records. It was crazy. That's why I FMU to me is the best American show. I've been to Austin too. That's also, I don't know if Dom's been to Austin, but
no,
it's good for psych. I know that. Like it's a ton of psych in Austin when I went there.
I did the Austin one this year on the phone with Jose, And honestly, it was very disappointing.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's
You're
not
always good.
worth the trip at all.
I mean, FMU sounded obviously from Dom's report and others, it sounded like a great show. Just camaraderie, and like they found a lot of great stuff. The French
I
people.
know.
I got
If I-
Stumpy on the phone. I got Stumpy on the phone helping
Yeah, I
me
heard about
pick out
that.
records. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, like when you showed in the video you published today, the Musique Insolite.
Yeah, Lasry.
Well, it's funny you said it struck me that you said Lasserie, because for me it's not a Jacques Lasserie record, it's a Structure Sonore Lasserie Bachet record. It's basically Jacques Lasserie was the musician that was entrusted by the Bachet brothers to be the interpreter of their instrument. And
Okay.
I'll show you quickly my Bachet section, which is
Yeah, there's a good bunch of those. No.
yeah.
15.
Yeah, I think I have one or two possibly.
I'll have. It depends how you extend the. Yeah. So for me, on LP, it would be this, and it starts surprisingly with one record that you probably have seen many times, which is.
Let me make it big here. No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I have, but I haven't seen one in a while.
So it's a super cheap record, but basically it's songs from the ghetto in during World War II with background sounds and music by the Structure Sonore Lasserie Bachet, who the first album is this one,
Okay.
and but they got also 10-inch albums that are somewhere else here. So the one that Dom got.
Yeah, I have that one.
There's this one. There is this one, Poésie à mi-voix. There's a bunch of also children folk tale. I don't even have every single one of them.
Yeah.
And there you
looked at
see only
this one,
Jacques Lasserie,
actually.
but it's actually Jacques Lasserie with the Structure Sonore. And here's an interesting one.
Oh, I think I sent that to Dom. I gave Dom. It's called Trans. I sent Dom the UK pressing.
Okay.
Oh, that's the different cover. Yeah.
This
yeah.
is
Yeah,
the
we
French
have
version.
that one. That's a cool
Yes.
record.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about that one.
The best one is probably this one, though.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
But then there is not just Jacques Lasserie. There is also Michel Deneuve.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's on my want list. That one.
So this one is with, as you can see, the structures, but also with the crystal organ. And the most difficult one to find is this one,
Okay. That I've not seen.
which is almost a private press. They only did 200 copies of this one, but it got reissued apparently recently. And yeah, this one is crazy. And one of the most popular one is this one.
That's a pretty crazy record.
Yeah, which also came out as a library soundtrack on MPI, Musique pour l'Image, which is the most collectible version of it. And he also did this one, Vincent Gemiani, also with the Structure
So
Sonore.
good. I just got that like recently, not long ago.
So it's weird that I've never talked about them on my stream, and I have all of
No.
this. But
Well, there's now you've ruined my 2024. There's all my records I gotta find.
you know, one person is obsessed with them, as well is Jack Dangers from Meatbeat Manifesto.
What's the connection? Just is.
I don't know his. Oh no, there's another record I forgot to include in that, which is the Solaris soundtrack by Cliff Martinez, which is mostly made out of the Structure Sonore.
Oh, okay.
So it should be in that bunch. And yeah, I got a bunch of 7 inches and 10 inches as well somewhere else.
Well, I'm glad to see the shelves. Looks good. Chaotic and wonderful.
Now it's starting here as well. Like it was mostly books here, but now I need more space here.
There it is. Well, take care, everybody. Thanks, everybody out there. Cheers.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks.